So how do you talk to yourself, John?
You fucking idiot. Would you just fucking do it right? Just do it right. Kind of like that.
Is there only one voice, internal voice, or two?
Sometimes it's like, would you fucking go to sleep? Just go. Well, that's the same voice, really, isn't it? Yeah.
So for me, it's my voice and then a slightly deeper version of my voice, and I'm not sure which is the real Bryan.
Oh, wow. Could you give us like a demo?
It really happens in the shower a lot, but it'll be kind of like, hey, Bryan, did you hear that song in the shop earlier on? I'd be like, yeah. I really like the new Radicals, and I'd be like, yeah, I wonder where they are now. And then we'll have a chat about
They released one song. How can you really like them?
Because it turns out the new Radicals became ghostwriters and wrote loads of famous songs for other musicians.
Like what?
Can't think of any off the top of my head.
Okay.
But
they were good.
When Joe Biden won the election, they had to have a song, and new Radicals came up and sang Get What You Gave or Get What You Give. But I think they kind of cut him off at the part at the end where he gets all like socialist at the end. Because you know how at the end of that song it gets real like, yo man, fuck capitalism and fuck corporations and shit. But they cut that bit out, I think.
I don't know. I was like 7 when that song came out, and I just remember dogs running around a like shopping center and being like, "This is the best song ever. It's appealing to me."
What song would you guys play at your coronation when you became president?
Oh, let's see.
It's the same song at my funeral, but yeah.
I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal.
Oh,
yeah, closer.
Really yeah, closer.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I'd go with Chumbawamba's Good Ship Lifestyle.
Mine is whatchamacallit, the song by the Specials, Message for Rudy. Message to Rudy? Stop your messing around. Just let everyone know that politics is really going to fucking step up. So, Niamh, how about your inner monologue?
Yeah, how does that go?
Oh, there's always two Niamhs, and they're always fighting with each other at all times. Like, seriously. To the point that I once said it to a therapist. I was like, is it normal to have two internal voices? And she was like, yeah. But yeah, it's like, there's one Niamh who makes bad decisions, and then there's another Niamh who's just like, I don't know if you should do that. And then just ignore that one.
But it's kind of apathetic towards a decision. So, so bad decision making Niamh gets the control.
Oh yeah, impulse Niamh has full control. Other Niamh is just like, you fool, you beautiful, sexy fool. No one can stop her.
When we were talking about this, I was thinking like, what would Niamh's two internal voices be? And for some reason, all I could think of Niamh being like, hey Niamh, looking pretty good today. I don't know. And then it happened, and then it came true. I think sometimes I'm kind of like, we should get in a fight today. And it's like, no, there's no... It's the pandemic. There's no like healthy way to do that.
Oh, there is. I nearly had a fight with a dude on the street the other day. Walking down the street, and I was with my girlfriend and a friend, and we were wearing masks, and this dude was just like, girls, enjoy your freedom. Take off your masks. Take them off. What are you doing? It's a beautiful day. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And he was like, and I was like, why don't you enjoy your fucking freedom by minding your own business and leave me alone? And like this girl behind me was like, yeah, fuck you, dude.
I love how differently that situation probably played out in that man's head versus the reality.
He really thought he was in his own movie where he was the protagonist, and he was like really making a difference in people's lives.
He literally looked like he stepped out of a 2010s movie. He had black spiked hair, an open, like a very open button shirt, and like black sunglasses. I was like, who the fuck are you, man? It's just like, leave people alone. But you know, he absolutely targeted 3 women on the street because they're the ones that go, okay. And I was like, not me.
Not me. No way.
Not me. My internal voice is telling me I'm pretty and mean.
Fight him. One time when I was a kid, I got called out for shoplifting by an old woman who was very, very scary, because you know how old women can really turn on you when you're a child. And it's like, oh no, they're not your granny anymore. Like, this is just like a really scary old woman. And she brought the manager over, and she was like, look in his pockets. And I was
Wait, she didn't work there?
No.
What a fucking narc. Holy shit, fuck off, old cop.
And so I was frightened, and it happened so quickly that I just complied with the whole situation, and I emptied my pockets, but I had stolen nothing. She had seen me put my hand in my pocket, because I was scratching myself on the inside of my leg. And she thought I had pickpocketed like a Mars bar or something. And so when I had produced empty pockets, she was like bamboozled and flustered. And all of a sudden I had this like rush of success and energy. And it's taken me this far.
Mm.
So despite her attempt to like keep you moral, she corrupted you.
Yes.
A guy tried to pickpocket me before and he pulled out what he thought, I presume, was going to be a wallet, but it was just a bunch of tampons. And I was like, you can have those.
Here you go, sir.
That's such a perfectly Niamh story. Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast, the world's strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with the two most relaxed people in the entire world. Sometimes we get a little spicy on this podcast. Sometimes we scratch and we bite a little bit. This episode, let me tell you, buddy, this is going to be the chillest episode. Bryan, put some good vibes out there.
I got one more stingy story.
Fuck no.
Okay, say it in a really relaxed voice.
Okay, so sometimes I'm shopping online, and unlike other people, it takes me about twice as long to shop online because I have to scrounge coupon websites just in case there's a deal and I can get free shipping or like €3 off the total value, because that's a fucking victory right there, buddy. That's what I live for. Because I don't have much else going on in my life. So I gotta win the lotto somehow.
You should just introduce me.
Bryan, can I tell a story about when we were in London?
Niamh, I'm so sorry, but this is a really important story, apparently.
Just go for it.
So one time we were in London and Bryan bought a book. We went all over the place looking for a particular book. And we went to 3 different bookstores and we ended up finding one bookstore that was kind of on the other side of town, but it was 5 pence cheaper. Bryan, you're very happy.
Yeah.
Then he was like, okay, let's go. And like when you travel with Bryan leads the way because he's a human compass, and it would be foolish to try and take that.
I already have the map even before you enter the dungeon. I don't know how I get it.
It's crazy. So he leads the way, and we end up back at the first bookstore, which I will remind you was across town. And we were there because Bryan wanted to confirm that his price was in fact lower. Now, he wasn't checking. He just wanted to see it. He wanted to see the lower price, and I was so tired and I was so hungry.
That was my favorite part of the holiday, because I just felt really good about myself.
But like, what if you went back and you were like, oh no, I spent €1 more? Would that have just ruined your holiday?
I would have gone back to the other shop
and returned it to go buy it at a cheaper price.
And like
You would have been doing that by yourself.
Oh my god!
I've got a great like excuse where I'm like, just wasn't for me.
I bought a book and it wasn't.
And it's like fucking The Art of Kirby or some shit.
It's not for me.
Yeah, Bryan. Like sometimes, like
chill.
Okay, I try and be good with money, but sometimes I think, Bryan, you would see the way I spend money and be so upset because I will spend money to make problems go away. You would be appalled at how much I tip Deliveroo drivers.
That's good. You should tip Deliveroo.
Oh, those are
tipping.
Those are
drivers and
hardworking
waiters.
people,
Yeah.
and I really respect them. And whenever I do order from them, they're always like, "Oh man, thanks."
I
for
make
the
a
tip.
rule, like if I'm not, I do not order food or do not eat out unless I have money to tip people.
Yeah, for sure.
Tip service staff and thank your bus driver.
And like
they're the 2 big rules.
You guys have seen all the like stories about Deliveroo riders
Yeah,
getting
here.
their heads kicked. I always try and be so nice to them because, like, goddamn, need put some calm vibes out there. I feel like that last section wasn't as chill as we're kind of going for tonight.
I don't know.
Okay, first of all, just the tone of your voice is very frightening right now.
I have been constantly in and out of poverty my entire life, to the point that I had to share a can of sardines with a foster dog. That one good?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Look, I just really wanted that book, okay?
Thanks, Patreon.
I was so hungry and you kept saying that the restaurant was around the corner. Why are we in a bookshop, Bryan? Why are we in a bookshop?
Want that sweet deal?
Guys, I consumed no media this week except being sad about wrestlers and just being like, who got fired? So Niamh, what are you watching, buddy?
So I'm continuing on my Fast and the Furious re-education, because I've watched all these films like more than once before, but I haven't watched them all like recently. And I've been doing it because Bryan was like, we need to talk about F9, and I was just like, damn right we do. So I watched 8, and I actually really like 8. I think 8 might be my favorite one.
What?
I know.
Niamh, you're so weird. You're like this with Star Wars as well. What are you doing?
Like 8 is actually really, really good, especially with the context of all the other movies, because 8 is where Dom has to turn against his family and become Dark Dom, and he puts on a black tank top, and he has to like fight his own family, and they're like, why is he doing this? We just do not understand.
Just like Dark Betty.
Just like Dark Betty.
Yeah.
And then like it's like surprisingly like emotionally resonant because of that, because he just doesn't want to do it, and he has his reasons and no one understands. And this is the introduction of Charlize Theron's character, Cypher, and it's so funny when she shows up with her, she's really bad shitty long hair in this one.
She's got the worst dreadlocks.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of dreadlocks slash beach hair. It's like white girl trying to do like, it looks like 90s Britney but bad. It's very bad hair. I don't know why I'm harping about that, but there's this moment that I love when she first confronts Dom, and Letty got her memories back, so she now remembers her and Dom's relationship.
Everything's going well.
I don't know who Letty is, but just I love the
Michelle
Rodriguez's character, who lost her memories after people thought she was dead. But then she came back, and she like couldn't like be like intimate with Dom because she couldn't really remember him, and he was really sad, but he was just like, I'll give you time, because Dom's like a cool guy. So she finally has her memories back, and like, you know, they get married, and they have like this like their wedding night together, and he is coming back after their night together, and he's bringing her romantic breakfast in a tote bag, and it consists of a single rose and a single baguette hanging out either side.
That's such good prop design.
So funny. And he's just walking up to her in this villa, and like Charlize Theron's character is just like
gonna blackmail you.
Gonna blackmail you. And then Dom disappears, and it's like, where's Dom? There's some stuff about that movie I didn't love. I think they did Elena's character super dirty. They kill her off in that movie, and every other character who dies in like the Fast and the Furious movie like goes out in like a ball of flames or like some heroic death kind of thing. Elena just like gets put in a perspex box and like
shot off camera.
By like a bad guy to kind of motivate Dom to kill this dude. There was really good stunts in it. There was like it was one of the better ones, I thought, on a rewatch. I was just like,
what's the general consensus on Fast 8?
I think it's one of the least popular ones, maybe?
It's good. The big problem people have with it is that Jason Statham's character joins the good guys.
Yes.
But he's killed members of the family. So
I think Jeff Gerstmann was upset about this.
So a lot of people weren't happy because a character called Han got killed by Jason Statham's character in one of the previous films, and so it just logically didn't make any sense that they would even give him like
the time of day.
Yeah.
But in fairness, they don't really trust him too much, and Jason Statham is actually really good in this, and I kind of like his it actually made me want to watch like Hobbs and Shaw. Because The Rock is good as well, but like Jason Statham's character has this moment where he's doing like gun fu with a baby, Dom's baby.
And he really likes babies, and he's great with kids.
I feel like a real good way to make an action scene better is to throw a baby in there.
Yeah, it felt like a real Kiryu Kazuma kind of moment, keeping a baby safe during gunfire kind of stuff, but like with a comedy edge.
See, like for me, I didn't mind any of that. It's just he shouldn't have been invited to the barbecue at the end.
Yeah, maybe not. Or maybe like
There's a line.
Yeah, maybe he's passing by and they like throw him a beer or something. I don't know. Which brings us to 9, and Bryan, I'm gonna disappoint you. I didn't love it.
Niamh, oh my god.
No, here's my thing. Okay. Fast 9 is everything. It is like the pinnacle of the Fast movies, in the sense that everything is bigger, there is way more shit happening, and everything's crazy. All the set pieces are huge and impossible. And that's where it lost me, is the set pieces were so crazy. And like, they've always been crazy, but they've kind of like been in the realm of like reality. Like, for example, not really in the realm of the reality, but they try and kind of construct a reality around it. for example, in Fast 7, when they need to like tumble off the cliff of like the forested cliff, they do it, and you're like, oh shit, how did they survive? They reinforce the car, and they have a steel roll cage in the car, and they like foreshadowed that bit, and they were like, we did it, we reinforced the car, and that's how we survived it. In this one, they are flipping cars like cars are swinging like Tarzan off vines. Cars are running up drawbridges as they're falling. Like, it's like gravity doesn't exist anymore.
Well, no, there isn't, because there's a car in space.
Yeah.
I'd like in a fast film if a car kind of like reared up and started running on its wheels, and its upper wheels were moving like
we are
arms.
so close to that happening with this shit. It was kind of unreal. And it's also another globe-trotting one where, again, I like when they travel a lot, but this was just like, we're in a jungle, and now we're in Siberia, and now we're here. Like, it was so much all the time, and now we're in space. And there was like 6 bad guys.
There was so many bad guys. The bit that bothered me was that there's a bit where characters ziplining across Edinburgh, and it goes on for ages. And for a longest time, we're like, is he on one big giant zip line? But what happens is he'll get to like a bell tower, and then he'll like take a pause, and then he'll make another zip line from like a...
Sounds like game Death Stranding.
He's zipping really slowly and really low to the ground because it's Edinburgh and the buildings aren't that high off the ground, tall. But I also thought John Cena sucked. Like,
he's not very good.
He was awful. John Cena in this is Dom's brother.
What's your general opinion on John Cena?
I didn't really have too much of one, but like seeing The Rock come into these movies and own that role and be extremely charismatic, that is a hard person to live up to. Like, you are another wrestler coming in and taking a role in the Fast franchise. You were obviously going to be compared to The Rock and his role in it.
Yeah.
And John Cena just had no charisma. I think the character was kind of stupid.
Have you ever seen an interview with John Cena?
No.
He's weird.
Is he?
He's a very strange man.
I'd believe it.
Not instantly likable in the same way you would think. Like, I'm going to talk about my strange relationship with John Cena in a little bit, but you continue your Fast and Furious.
Didn't love John Cena in this. He just did not have the charisma to carry a role like that, where it's basically he's Dom's secret brother. I did like the plot of this. The plot was really like dramatic.
I really like the flashbacks as well.
Yeah, the flashback scenes were done really well, and the guy who played young Dom and the guy who played young Jacob, which is John Cena's character, did a really good job.
That was really good. Yeah, because like I thought they were going to age them down with CGI.
Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't.
But they just cast really good actors. I thought it was really good when Dom gets out of prison and he does a street race, and you can see the crew. And it's the crew from the first movie, but kind of out of focus. But you can tell who's who. Mm-hmm. I really, really wish during that bit, though, when he hits the NOS, that they did the blurred speedline effects that they do in the first 2 movies. That would have been a nice touch.
That would have been a nice callback. I lost my mind when they introduced the second necklace.
You can't
so
do
funny.
that. There's 2 necklaces? That shit, like, the bit with the car in space, I was like, okay, this is sure. And they do their best to explain it, and there's 2 dudes in a car in space eating chocolate.
But it's like, it's so weird because it's like the conceit to get them up there and why that mattered, it just didn't. It was just like, we need to have the car in space because we need to bring cars into space for Fast 9. But like,
apparently this is something they've been wanting to do for years.
Yeah, the plot conceits behind it really didn't match up to the point that you're kind of like, why are Roman and Tej there? Like, really? And they're like, okay, they're stopping. Ugh. So like, it's not about car racing and kind of like bad guys on the edge of society anymore. They're now full espionage now that they introduced Mr. Nobody in 7.
Is there someone called Mr. Nobody?
Yeah, played by Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell's character, Mr. Nobody, is introduced in 7, and it's basically like, we're making espionage movies now, and this is our way to make that happen. So he's basically like the elusive man from Mass Effect or something. He's just some guy with a lot of money who's like, I need you to steal this thing. to save the world, and it's just
He's
like
very good.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. So they kind of have to stop a little Death Star kind of thing happening. And there was just so many plot conceits that sucked. Like, there was this girl who needed to use her, like, DNA to put the Death Star thing together. And they did not name her until the entire, like, till the end of it at the barbecue. They gave her name. And it was just like, who is this plot girl? It just sucked.
So she's a Japanese girl that Han faked his death to protect. Mm-hmm. And I was watching it with Rebecca, and she was like, I think that's from Yakuza. Like, I think one of the subplots in Yakuza is one of the characters faked his death to protect a girl.
Imagine it could be.
That has definitely happened in Yakuza. Mm-hmm. My trouble is I'm trying to figure out how many times it's happened.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about the plot twist in Yakuza where some guy comes into a diner and kills everyone? He shoots everyone in the diner. Yeah. And then he goes to jail for like 20 years. And then it's revealed that someone loaded rubber bullets into his guns and he didn't actually end up killing anyone. Yakuza's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, like, with this, there's just so much going on and only some of it worked. And they turned Dom into the Incredible Hulk. Like, his arms are up in the air like this.
He's so big.
And he's, like, running with his big arms up in the air, and he's doing jumps, and he's literally taking down 20 guys at a time, and they're tying chains to him, and Letty's, like, looking on from, a glass door.
That bit was amazing, Niamh. Come on.
No, that bit sucked.
And the bit where he's drowning in the water, and he travels through time.
Like... I liked the plot aspect, but I don't... Like, Dom isn't the Hulk. Dom is a person.
Letty's Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
She'd kick the shit out of most people.
Yeah, they could have worked together, but it's now like, no, Dom is the Hulk. And it's like, he's not the Hulk, and he's just like... A lot of the CG was super ropey as well. It's the worst CG they've had in the series.
He's got really, really bad, like, bloom lighting and keying around him when he's supposed to be in front of a fake environment.
Ugh. So there was that kind of stuff that just did not work for me, where I kind of loved the interpersonal drama of Jacob and Dom, and I liked the kind of plot stuff with bringing Han back. Thought the stunts and the driving was kind of the worst it's been.
Oh, I loved it. I loved all the magnet shit.
It looks so fake. Fake.
The magnet stuff was real.
No, Bryan, here's another thing that I have to bitch about. Okay, in 5, there is a moment where they go, there was no civilian deaths. Make sure everyone is safe. And they kind of seem like people who are concerned with not killing people. From 7 onwards, they all have machine guns and are just murdering the shit out of everyone. And 9 is just like, it's like a Marvel movie. Like cities get destroyed, people are thrown everywhere. Han throws a grenade onto a man and kicks him out of a door, and the dude just blows up. It's like, and it's like, it's cool, but like, these people were like meant to be like the good bad guys on the edge of society, and now they're just like mass murderers.
Yeah, they got blood on their hands.
And it's
and
like,
oil in the tanks.
And then on top of that, like, there was just so much going on. They keep Charlize Theron in a Perspex cube for the entire fucking movie.
She had one day of shooting,
like Magneto. Yeah. Like Magneto.
Yeah, pretty much. And there she was like, I'm too evil and I'm going to kill you all. So once they let me out of here, I'm going to go get you. And then they let her out at the end. And and her... Let a lesbian style her hair. It looks bad. Like, they just didn't get it right.
Her hair looks better in the last film.
It does look better in the last film, but this was literally a bowl cut. They did Charlize, one of the most beautiful women in the world, dirty. So, like, Bryan, I didn't love it. I thought 8 was better.
Oh my god!
And this
is your movie. Space Jam too.
Wait. I wrote it down because I was like,
that's so mean, John.
This is the first movie since Tokyo Drift that is not written by Chris Morgan, and it shows. It's
directed by Justin.
But I don't think he's great. The last movie he did was 6, which was kind of the weaker one as well.
Oh my god. He also did the 3rd Star Trek movie, and that is a film that exists.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy in this, and a few people will understand what I mean, but one of the bad guys in it, and it's Charlize Theron's European friend, and I say European because...
He's just like, hey, I'm from Europe.
Yeah.
We got 12 points for the Netherlands. It's just that voice.
But he has a bodyguard that looks so much like someone keyed Germa's face onto him.
Yes.
That every time he was on screen, I was like, Germa.
Okay, you know what? I got one nice thing to say about this movie.
Bryan, you have loads of nice things to say about this movie.
No, I didn't get to say it last time. I wanted to say it, okay? The family of this film, you got a great mix of people, very diverse cast. There is one white guy in the family, in the extended family, and it is a white dude from Alabama who travels around the world and is a rocket scientist, and I think that is very good.
Who's that?
The guy from the third film. And it's like, how many guys from Alabama have a passport? And
That's the reason why you like it.
I was like, you know what? That's a good representation of someone from Alabama.
He has a passport.
In fairness, we have met one person from Alabama and they did not have a passport originally.
A lot of Americans don't have them.
No, they don't. And I'm sure people from Alabama that have passports are like, yeah, thanks, Bryan. Because that guy's a cool guy.
Yeah. I did enjoy
like
at
him.
the end that they had the kind of like, I enjoyed that they brought Mia back because it's her brother as well, but it was really like Dom versus Jacob, and I guess Mia was there. They didn't show her in any of the back flashbacks.
And Brian's minding the kids, but he's off camera.
Yeah.
And the bit where Brian shows up at the barbecue at the end, but they can't show him, so they can only show the car
I
driving.
thought that was nice that his car pulled up because they were like, don't worry, he's coming, and the car pulls up. I think it's cute that they kept him alive in the canon because it's just a nice way. But I also thought it was weird that like Dom calls his like baby son Bryan,
Lil B.
because like that makes no sense while Bryan is alive, like as a kind of name.
We know the truth.
I was just like, Bryan likes this movie because like the word little Bryan and little B is mentioned quite a lot, and
Yeah.
Bryan was like, that's me, I'm little B.
If Vin Diesel would refer to me as Lil B, I would melt.
Same here.
I'd be a little N.
Who do you think is hotter? Who would you make out with, Bryan? Dom, Vin Diesel, The Rock, or what's his face? The other wrestler who I'm not.
John Cena.
John Cena.
I'm making out with Dom, and John Cena's gonna watch.
That's insane. Seriously? Like, no one wants to make out with John Cena. But
Yeah.
Vin Diesel over The Rock?
I think The Rock's gonna bite.
If he does, it's going to be a respectable amount. Like, it's going to work.
Oh,
I have
can we do
sensitive
fuck, marry,
skin.
kill with them?
Okay, well, I guess we're all killing John Cena.
Yeah, we're all killing John Cena.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna fuck Dom, and I'm gonna fucking marry The Rock.
Okay, I'm gonna fuck The Rock and marry Dom.
Okay. I'm going to fuck John Cena because I'm curious, okay? I have I have a love-hate relationship with John Cena. I spent a lot of years just hating that man, and now I've come around him in a weird way where, like, you know, if you go to secondary school with someone you don't like and you see them 20 years later, and like, you know, both your lives have, you know, you've gone okay and you're fine and you don't like them, but you're kind of like, it's you motherfucker.
I guess I'd fuck you now.
Yeah, that's me and John Cena. With Vin Diesel, I have to kill him because
But he looks like a dolphin.
Hear me out. I just don't have a relationship with Vin Diesel. He's never made his way. I think I've seen one Fast and the Furious movie, and
But he's such a beautiful mammal.
He's beautiful, he's kind, and he's like one of the best examples of like positive like masculinity, you know?
Okay, I have never seen that, so maybe when I someday pursue... Oh, did you see that scene from the new movie where the new Disney movie where the guy's talking about how he's gay, and The Rock's like, it's bad that people gave you shit for that. He crawls under the same low bar as me, you know?
He really
I was
did.
gonna like, wow, low. Yeah.
Also, I heard about that Jungle Cruise movie that Jack Whitehall's character who's gay in it doesn't say he's gay. He just says he's not had successful relationships with women. Then there's an implication. And The Rock goes,
in fairness...
That's okay, bro.
In fairness, I've watched that scene, and he doesn't go, I'm gay, but, like, you couldn't think anything else about that. Like, very conflicting feelings about that stuff as well. Anyway. And of course I'd marry The Rock. Come on.
I know.
Like, it's
fucking stability right there. He's
like,
a rock.
It's not an easy decision.
He's gonna make you laugh.
Yeah.
He's got like the craziest fucking body.
He'll sing for you.
Yeah, there's nothing that he couldn't do.
He'll make pancakes.
I bet he's an awesome cook, and you know, I bet he could get me tickets to WrestleMania. Like,
He gives a good foot massage.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
No, you probably will have to shave his back once a week. Are you okay with that?
Well, then I know what it's like to be with me, so it's fine. What's wrong, Bryan?
For me, it's every 2 weeks.
Okay.
the male body is...
It's troubling. It's troubling.
Do you ever shave like a letter in first before you get it all off?
I always mean to do shit like that.
Yeah.
For like 8 years now, I've wanted to like shave a mustache in just to see it and then shave off the mustache. But every time I'm like, well, there it goes. That's the muscle memory, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I used to always draw on my belly button because you can make like it's like a mouth, so you could do like googly eyes or whatever. And I used to do this from like the ages of 10 to 12, and I did it for like 2 years until my mum found out, because I was getting changed for swimming or something, and she was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know we were going swimming today, so I didn't have didn't." And she's like, "Wash that off and don't do that again. Gonna get your belly button infected." And I was like, "Well, what, with the ink?" And she's like, "Yeah, the ink is bad for your belly button." And I was like, "I don't."
That sounds like a lie she made up to stop you doing that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Mom's not. I'm a big boy. I can draw on my own belly button. Also, been meaning to say this. When I went to the doctor the other week, I had to get a scan and I had to kind of strain my body. And the way the doctor said for me to strain my body, because I guess this is a way to kind of like flex and unflex your kind of abdomen, she kept saying, and she was Australian, so she's like, "All right, make a fat belly." I don't know if that's an Australian accent, but she was like, "Make a fat belly."
I thought she was going to be like, push.
No, well, she was, but then she was like, no, make a fat belly.
Can I do a very brief aside? I'm trying to cut down the feces talk, because I know I may have gone too far for some people.
Yeah, for several episodes.
There's just one thing I want to say, okay?
Oh my god.
I saw one comment that said, "John will never live this down." And all I can say is, buddy, I'm living this. This is I won. I the acclaim I got, the emotional support, the letters of appreciation.
People sent emails. I read
People
one.
sent emails being like,
I pooped myself too.
This took so much weight. I am living nothing down. I am living everything up, my friend. Sorry, go on. Fast and the Furious 9. With fuck, marry, kill, does it imply that you're not going to fuck the person you marry?
No, you can still
it's
have
like a fling.
Yeah,
but
like
it's very passionate.
Yeah, it's like a one night, like it's
but you're also going to have.
You're going to have sex with the person you marry.
Okay,
but it's going to be marriage sex.
Okay. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, definitely the order I give.
But like, this is what I think when they do that. They're like, well, you're gonna have like the weird, like kinky shit with this person for one night.
Well, I presume like it's one night, but the other person is just like, I could fall in love with them and share the rest of my life with them. Where the other person is like, it's pure attraction based, and I will just have
the
one.
passion.
Yeah, I just have one night with them.
Okay, I think I would I think John Cena is pretty handsome for sure, and I think I could. He's does he take his shirt off in Fast 9?
No.
Okay,
No.
well that's 3/4 of it. But I'd also really like to just be at WrestleMania and John Cena comes out and everyone's going wild, and I just love to like lean over to the person next to me and just be like, I fucked him.
I've never seen a man whose hair looked like a wig so much in my life with John Cena.
It probably was a wig because he has to keep it shaved for wrestling. He
stopped cutting his hair in the last year, and it looks like a wig.
Yeah, it looks like a weird little toupee on him. It does not suit him.
He had a bad fringe.
John, he has like such a weird like anti-charisma. Like I remember seeing him on that like reality TV shows, the Bella ones, and there was a section where he was explaining to his not wife, not fiance, but his girlfriend how the bins work. And it took like 3 minutes. And he was wearing like the weirdest like stripy purple shirt.
I watched that new Suicide Squad movie, but I don't really want to talk about it. But John Cena is good in that film.
I hear that movie's alright.
It's an improvement over the other one, but like that's gonna be an obvious because that 2016 film is. I really didn't like that film.
No one did.
It's like I don't even think John Cena is bad per se in this. I think the character he has is very dour.
Yeah, he's just pouting.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard for him to have fun. But like The Rock's character, like The Rock is just so good. Like he just brings so much charisma to everything that it's kind of really hard to live up to.
That bit where he flexed the cast off his arm.
Oh my god, that's so good.
His arms are like, what the fuck
It's a big boy.
John, there's a bit where he's in like an arm cast and like he's just like, they need me, and he just flexes and the whole thing breaks off. It's so good. It's just like my pure like will has knitted my like bones in fact together. It's just so good. I'm going to go back and watch 6 because I had to skip 6 to get to 9 for this podcast. But I'm like, I remember not loving that one, and because it's like Justin Lin again, who's only okay.
But he made Han a thing.
Yeah, and that's great, but like, I don't know, like Fast 9, I just... And maybe I'm wrong, and please write in about this. If you're a car head and like your thing is cars and car stunts, I can't imagine 9 was the most interesting to watch because it felt so fake compared to the other ones.
It's definitely not a car movie. It's just a set piece movie.
Yeah, the other one felt like there was a real like you know, people who care about cars worked on those ones, where this one was just like, hey, do you know the MCU? Let's make a movie like the MCU. And I'm like, I do not like the MCU. There was also so many weird Star Wars references in this. Like Charlize Theron's whole like evil monologue about like
the bit where Yoda. She compares the guy to Yoda, and he's like, oh yeah, because I'm smart like Yoda, and she's like, no, because you're a puppet with a hand up your ass.
Whoa, man.
But like, she's kind of creepy in these movies where she's kind of like, because like she was really inappropriate with Dom in there. Like predatory.
I would say so.
Non-consenting with that kiss and then some.
Mm-hmm. She was trying to make Letty jealous.
Because like Dom was not kissing back.
No.
But he just kind of had to look, and he was like, help. Mm-hmm. I'm in a situation beyond my control.
It was a real like anime kind of brainwash scene where like, they're my puppet now, and like, but Dom is like looking sadly at Letty and being like, this kiss is not consensual.
That sounds real good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's right up John's alley.
So I guess like that's it. We probably won't be talking about Fast and the Furious.
Well, no, they're making 2 more movies.
I think it's pretty.
I think
we can just put a stop on Fast and Furious on this podcast. We as a trio, we don't like it. We don't approve of it, and that's it done.
Until the next one.
You don't need. I think it's best just to chop off the shriveled limb right now.
No, they really need to finish off the Cypher trilogy, and then they have to do like, you know, the final chapter.
The cheek of calling this the Cypher's trilogy when Cypher's kept in a box for the entire second movie.
I know, of these 2 films,
Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
but like so 8 and 9 both have the same thing where it's a satellite that's going to hack the world, and they need to stop it. And I guarantee the 10th movie is going to be another, we have to stop the hacking.
Yeah.
What's the most dangerous thing in the world now? Bryan, tell me how it ends.
It's going to end with Vin Diesel getting into his car, looking off into the horizon, and there's another Vin Diesel, and it's Vin Diesel from 2000, and he looks right at the camera and goes, it could be you.
Okay, Bryan, tell me how it ends.
I just said it.
Bryan, could you please talk about the film, how it ends?
Oh, yes. That was very good.
There's some good wordplay. You don't get to 146 episodes being the host and not store up some winners like that one.
Okay, How It Ends is a 2021 comedy film that I watched. It's a very low-budget independent comedy film that is co-directed by a woman called Zoe Lister-Jones, and she co-directed it, co-wrote it with her husband, Darryl Wine, and she also stars in it. And it's a series of vignettes, I guess, a series of short stories that all take place on the one day about a woman on the last day of Earth. And it was shot around the fancy parts of LA, and it was filmed during lockdown last year. And I thought that was super interesting. I've watched 2 films now that were made during lockdown. There was this film and a Steven Soderbergh movie, his new heist movie, No Sudden Move. And you could tell they're filming lockdown because they'll have the actors on set, but they never overlap each other, and there's never too many of them in one wide shot. But this movie, How It Ends, is about a woman on the last day of Earth, and she's joined by her past, or herself as a child that people can now see. Because apparently when the world ends, people's perception of the world is slightly different. So you and your younger self that kind of walks beside you exist together.
That's nuts. It's kind of like...
I really like that,
like a daemon kind of like...
Oh, yeah, no, it really is just like...
Your soul is manifest as a younger version of you.
Yeah, and they kind of work that in really well, where it's about her kind of loving and accepting herself. So they have like another actress beside her working that character, and it's kind of her past self. So it's her kind of accepting her grievances when she was younger. That stuff works really well, but like it's mainly just like a comedy, and it's an excuse to have a bunch of SNL and Always Sunny actors all just show up for 5 minutes, say their lines, do their 1 day of shooting, and then that's it. It's probably filmed over the space of a month, and they just dedicated 1 day of filming for each available actor. Like there's a bit where they go to Charlie Day's house, him and the waitress, because I think they're married in real life, and they're just in their front garden, but like they're not playing themselves, they're just playing like LA citizens, but it's just like a 5-minute comedy sketch about how they're tripping balls, and they get a bit of advice from them, but then they walk away, and then the married couple are like, wait, was there someone there? I'm tripping balls. It's a very comfortable comedy.
Is it her meeting different people who are kind of dispensing life advice? Or
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And she's on her way to a party, and the party is at Pauly Shore's house, and Pauly Shore is in this film as himself, which I thought was nice. I haven't seen Pauly Shore in a while, but there he is. Like, it's not the kind of film I'd ever watch again. Don't know why I'm talking about it. I guess I just found it interesting that this is how you made a film last year. And they managed to make a film, and they used the rules and restrictions that they had to their advantage. I'm sure there's a couple of other films that were made during lockdown, and even now they've started production on television shows. I know they've just finished filming the new Thor film, and so there probably was a lot of protocol, and there's probably going to be certain limitations in this film that if you have the context of when it was filmed, you'll spot. And I thought that was very interesting.
And you also watched You Got Served.
I did. I rewatched You Got Served because Rebecca and we got Amazon Prime because the new Evangelion film is going to be on it in a few days' time. The fourth one, which I think is called, 1.0 plus 3.0?
How are you guys feeling about that?
No expectations.
Yeah, no expectations. Excited to watch it.
I feel kind of disconnected from it. And
it's been way too long.
That makes me feel sad because
I always see like extra Evangelion stuff, like supplementary stuff, like as just that kind of supplementary.
Yeah, totally. I think this is just the first time I've had not even for any. I think I'm just kind of past it, I think it says more about me than it does Evangelion, and it kind of makes me sad. But
I'm excited. I like big robots.
Yeah, and those bits will be cool.
I'm not that excited, but I know on the day it'll be out that evening, I'll be excited. I keep forgetting it's coming out. It's not like a thing I'm looking forward to, but sure, I'll watch it. But they had all of South Park on Amazon Prime, so we're rewatching the seasons from the mid 2000s. And my favorite season is season 8. That's the season where the first episode is one where they have the fun with weapons, and it turns into an anime.
Oh.
And so, season 8 was made in 2004, and that is just peak Bush administration. And so many episodes are just about the culture at the time as well. It's got the Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ episode, the Osimo episode where Cartman pretends to be a robot called Osimo. It's got the Goobacks, which is the one where the people go back from the future back in time to work jobs, and they're time travel immigrants. There's this one particular episode, and it's one of my favorites, and it's called You Got F'd in the A. And it's the dance-off episode.
Oh, that one's brilliant. Oh, it's so good.
In which a brand new gang of characters, which are just really well-designed kids who are in a dance group, put down a boombox and start playing some jams and start dancing at the main cast. And the main kids do not know how to react. And then the kids go, you got served. And they just feel confused, and they explain it to Chef, and the Chef's like, yeah, you got served. And then they go home to their family, and they're like, and Randy's like, you got served? Okay, Stan, I'm going to take you into the garage right now. And then he teaches them how to dance to Don't Break My Heart, My Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. Anyway, the stakes get raised, and all of a sudden, Stan has to form his own dance group against this other dance group for Saturday for the dance competition. And his team consists of Stan.
It's the best team ever.
So you got Stan, you've got one of the goth kids.
I love the goths so much in South Park. They're the best. And
the goth kid is I'm going to be so nonconformist, I'm going to join the dance crew. And the other goths are damn, we got goth served. There's a DDR kid, and the way he dances, he can only dance in 4 directions, like the fucking DDR pad. Who else is there? There's a girl from Raisins who just shakes her ass, and then there's a dancing duck.
Oh, the duck's so good.
And then Butters is kind of like the sub that comes in at the end to bail them out. But anyway, I'm watching this with Rebecca, and I'm like, have you seen the film that they're making fun of, You Got Served? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, we're watching You Got Served. So You Got Served is a 2004 dance film, and oh my god, like, this is such a specific movie to do a parody of, but it's also just like a time capsule in itself as well. It is 2004, the movie. And like, this movie takes place in LA as well. They have the dance off in the Staples Center, and they keep showing wide shots of the Staples Center, and we're like, that's where Anime Expo is. And like, you go in, and it's the Staples Center with those like weird fucking white pillars that are like holding up the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And the competition is to be in a Lil Kim music video, and it's just amazing. And like, the plot of this film is fucking terrible. Like, even for like a dance movie, the film consists of like 2 best friends, and they're trying to raise money to enter into a dance competition with a bunch of dudes from Orange County, and the guy from Orange County has like frosted tips with spiky hair. Like, he just looks like such a white guy villain from a mid-2000s movie. And like, the main cast of this movie are all black, and they're all from like a socially disadvantaged area, so the whole idea is, you know, that they're taking on like the rich white guy. They fucking cream them, because earlier on in the movie they go,
Bryan, spoilers.
No, because earlier on in the movie they go, you got served, but at the end, when they win the dance off and they're in Lil Kim's music video, they go, no, you got served. Nice. And that's the name of the film. But there's but like, there's so many actors in this movie where you're like, that's the mom from Sister Sister. That's Lisa Landry.
I love it when she turns up and stuff. She's barely aged. I saw her in something recently,
she looks amazing.
And she looked so good.
She looks the exact same. Steve Harvey, the host of Family Feud, is kind of like the wise elder of the community that tells like, no, you can't fight with your fist. You gotta take this out in the street and dance.
Steve Harvey is super cool if you look up his Family Feud highlights and stop there and never look up a single other thing about him.
Yeah, dude, I think the second image result is him standing next to Trump.
He's he's one of those fucking nightmare people.
Yeah. I guess when you get that rich, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, the plot is like, they have to raise money. There's a falling out with the friends. They are drug mules for a drug dealer, but this movie is really family friendly, so there's no swearing, and the drug trafficking is all implied. So all they'll do is they'll carry big heavy duffel bags, but it's unspecified what's in these duffel bags.
Full of Sunny D.
And there's another bit where there's a little kid character that's kind of like the mascot of the crew, and his name is Lil Saint, and he's played by Walt, who was in Lost. You know the little kid in the first 2 seasons. Do you remember him?
I haven't watched Lost in so long.
You know how Harold
I'm picturing our
was in
friend
it?
Walt, and I think that's how it's going to stay.
Okay, well, yeah, this little like 12-year-old black kid, and he's a lovely little guy. You know him in Lost? Remember that little guy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so he's in it, but he's like a year younger because this was shot the year before Lost. And he's in this film, and it's implied that like he hangs out with a bad group of people, and they mention their names. These characters are never seen, but then there's a scene later on where a character gets a phone call, and then they're at the hospital, and they're like, can we see Little Saint? And the doctor's like, he got shot in the lung, he's dead. And like, none of this means anything, except for at the very end of the movie, the dance crew calls himself the Little Saints. And they have like a really weird airbrushed picture of him on their t-shirt. And also the drug subplot, like the drug dealing subplot, all that beef gets squashed because Steve Harvey's character knows the drug dealer, and he gets a guy called like Ronnie to sort all that out, and the debt's been cleared. None of this matters. So there's like, it's the most contrived fucking plot. But the breakdancing, holy shit. There are some fucking breakdancers, and like as the credits roll, there's so many like extras as the breakdancers. One of them is Kevin Federline.
Oh wow!
Before he married Britney Spears,
and got beat up by John Cena. He keeps coming back. Sorry.
I highly recommend this movie. This movie exists. It happened. Cost $8 million to make, and it made some fucking money back. I tell you. I think this movie's great, and this movie's an hour and a half long, and it flies. It's about 30 minutes in your mind.
Wasn't there like an explosion of dance movies around that time? And
There
I think
was.
it was like Save the Last Dance was really popular. Was that the first one, or what was
I think
it?
Save the Last Dance came out in either 2000 or 2001. But then you had stuff like Honey, the Jessica Alba dancing movie. But yeah, there's absolutely like a bunch of dance movies. Because like I know in the late 80s you had like Breakin' and Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, starring Turbo and Ozone. And with that, it's always like Save the Youth Center. But then it kind of became, no, I'm like a scrappy independent dancer, but I get to have an opportunity to work with a musician. But there's always like a little kid to protect, because you gotta have a kid to
Gotta
protect.
have a little kid.
But this kid don't even fucking protect the fucking kid. He just dies off camera. This movie just, and also does a bit where they're like, a bunch of characters are holding up a prop, like they're holding up like a sign that they tore off, but they never do a cut in close up of the sign, but they read it out, and it's like, yo, they're having like a dance off this Saturday in the Staples Center, and the prize is $50,000. We should go. Yeah, man. And then they do their like handshake, and then they go back to basketball. It's just perfect.
Cool. It sounds like a perfect movie.
Yeah, it's just like, that's how movies used to be made, and people were fine with it.
Movies in the early 2000s were so fucking bad, you've no idea.
They were just
When was Cruel Intentions?
99.
Oh, that was like, 99 or 98
Does
maybe.
does that hold up?
Some parts are like, it's real campy.
I remember watching it back when I was a kid and thinking like, this is some real shit right here. Like, this
Yeah, I feel like now it would read as campy and stuff, especially because like you're like, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar and she's kissing like, who was it that she's kissing in it? Oh my god, I'm blanking. And she was in.
She kisses a girl in that movie.
Every lesbian watched that movie because it was one of the first big on-screen lesbian.
Selma
kisses.
Blair,
Yes, Selma Blair.
who now is like chronically ill, and she has a cane.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Selma Blair.
she's retired from acting. But last year, I highly recommend it. Last year, they did a reenactment of their kiss, but because of lockdown, they made a gag out of it where they're like macking on like a glass plate, and it's real funny.
I gotta
'cause-
say, like as a gay in the 90s, looking for any bit of representation, when I saw that kiss, I was like, that looks like the most, like, it was such a gross kiss.
it's real sticky.
It's a real like horrible looking.
Yeah,
kiss.
there's like saliva streams, right?
It does have like a it's real snotty at the
Yeah,
end.
I was just like,
I think it won Best Kiss at the MTV Awards.
It did.
yeah, it was a different time.
It was a different time.
I do like the bit with Ryan Philippe's character, Felipe, and he's at his aunt's house out in the like Hamptons or whatever, and he's doing clay pigeon shooting, and I think her name's Aunt Helen, and she's just like, Sebastian, and he's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Aunt Helen, hi, and he just runs over to her, and it's just like, he plays the character, so like I think him and Sarah do play their characters.
I think I'm gonna rewatch that movie and I'm gonna report back.
Yeah, I think I will too, because like I've actually wanted to. Me and Rebecca were talking about it for a while because we were talking about Selma Blair. I didn't know she was chronically ill. Poor Selma Blair.
Yeah, Selma Blair.
Sorry to bum you out.
Yeah,
Thanks,
way to go,
Bryan.
Bryan. Thanks.
Sorry, I know trivia and keep up with the actors. Sorry.
Oh, you'll be sorry. In our strategy talk. Guys, I've been playing Death's Door.
And you love it. Oh, he really loves this. Oh, he's got some praises to sing.
Okay. This is a game where you play as a little crow, and that little crow fucking thumbs up across the board. Real cute little guy. The camera is zoomed out very far so you can't see how he carries a sword, but let me tell you, he does. And you are tasked with basically getting 3 giant souls back to the Lord of Doors, and you're basically like a little Grim Reaper, and it is, you go to the different sections, you kill giant souls, you bring them back. Very kind of Dark Souls setup, and I think if I was to describe this game in a way, and I don't mean for this to sound reductive, it's kind of like Baby's first Dark Souls. It is that kind of setup. You die, all the enemies respawn, you kind of go through different areas, and it's like charming enough. Like there's some really interesting enemies. Like there's these creatures, and they're like these kind of like weird spindly stickmen, and they have these giant faces on their back. and if the face sees you, they attack, but if the normal things see you, they don't, and it's kind of stuff like that. This game is aggressively fine.
Okay.
I would say that there is really, from the music to the look to the gameplay, I would find it really hard to criticize anything about the game, like on a, you know, in a way that I'm like, I think this part of the game lets it down. I think each part of the game is like reasonably strong. But on that same note, I would also say, like, there's nothing about the game that I think really stands out. And I feel like, you know, when you have an opinion like this, I feel like people often want to interpret it as negative, and they like often want to interpret it as like, you know, I'm really like bashing the game. And I'm not, because I think this is a well-made game. I just think that it's hard for me to look at it and like the way the systems kind of knit together and stuff and see anything like really truly special or that I haven't seen before. I enjoy playing it, you know, like I'll stick on a podcast and play through a little bit of it. It's like difficulty is, you know, a boss will kill you once or twice and then you'll kill it, you know, and it's not really difficult enough that I ever think you really have to dig into its mechanics, and that's kind of the, you know, I always like with video games when the difficulty is scaled to the point that you have to really understand each mechanic and how to use it, and it's not there. It feels quite inspired by like Studio Ghibli in some ways, but in some ways it kind of crosses that barrier between like inspiration and, oh, this is a Ghibli character. Like one of the bosses is the pot witch, and it's really just the witch from Spirited Away with a different dress and a pot on her head. Like it's really, really that.
That's just not using it as a crutch anymore. That's just...
Yeah, and I don't know, like, the environments all have, like, you know, kind of interesting ideas. Like, I like the pot witch's place because, like, you start off in her gardens and then you infiltrate her mansion and then you go to the lab below her mansion. And, like, they all kind of knit together in a way that's interesting, and she's this woman who, like, is trying to escape death and all this kind of stuff. But I feel like environments in indie games have really made a lot of headway in the, like when you think of, like, Little Nightmares 2. The environments of Little Nightmares 2 are on such a different level than anything this game does, you know, and this was a problem I kind of had while playing it. It's like every single part of this game, I can think of another, like, indie game of the same scope that does it better. Like, the combat is nowhere near, like, Hyper Light Drifter, you know, and it's difficult because I get that, like, you can't always be reductive with games and can't always be like, well, it doesn't do this as compared to this, you should focus on the strengths of the games. But if I was to focus on the strengths of this game, there's nothing I would say that this game does better than another game I can think of. And it is charming, and like I'm probably gonna beat it. I'm like 3 hours in, and it's like meant to be like 7-8 hours, and so it's like okay. But yeah, this game is fine. If you want like a pleasant time, I really can't imagine anyone coming away from this game and being like, I fucking hated it, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's not the substance there to hate, and it doesn't try anything like it can't achieve.
Yeah.
Like everything it does at least well.
Does it have much of a story to it? Or is it pretty vague in that Dark Souls-y
It's all just
way?
environmental.
It's not really environmental. Like, maybe there's like YouTube lore videos explaining what's going on, but everything so far to me has been pretty like
Is the story, it was once a prosperous kingdom?
No, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's although I have 2 more worlds to visit, so we'll see. But it's very much like you work for the Lord of Doors, and he's basically like the Grim Reaper, and you have to bring the souls back to him. And like, you know, there was a bit about like the pot witch went insane because she wanted to avoid death, and it's like, you know, you've kind of...
Do the characters communicate much with each other? Like,
There's like a little bit of banter, and there's
Okay.
some kind of quirky humor, but it's like... Some of it's not great, honestly.
Okay.
Like, they kind of do the whole mundanity of the afterworld thing as if the afterworld was like kind of, you know, a boring office job. They kind of have a bit of that in there. When you meet the Lord of Doors, he has a mug that says World's Best Lord, and it's like... Yeah,
okay.
How does it look compared to that game we all played last year, the roguelike, where
Hades?
Hades, because that dude had a desk.
Um,
And that's isometric.
Hades,
Is it the same gag?
I feel like Hades dipped into that a little bit, and more so, but it was more so how Hades the character saw his job, as opposed to this is the joke of the world. Hades is another game where I really don't think a lot about Death's Door compares very well with Hades. The combat, it's very simple. It's like you're dodging, you're slicing, you do a lunging attack, and there's not really a whole lot more to it than that. You can reflect a lot of projectiles, and I'm engaged when I'm fighting, but I wouldn't say those combat synapses are ever really going off. Yeah, it's a good game. It's decent. Check out a video of it, and if you like the way it looks, it's not going to have any surprises. It's going to be that game. Other people are more positive on it than me. For me, it's this will kill 7 hours, and it will die in my top 20 list this year, and I'll never play it again.
Perfect.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Niamh,
Yes.
why don't you tell us? Actually, you know what? Let's slam the brakes there. I want to rotate us properly so that we all stay fresh. Bryan,
Yeah.
talk to me about Guilty Gear Strive.
I'm playing Strive again because the first DLC character is officially out. Guess he's been out for a while, has he?
No, it was last week, I think.
Last week, okay. Gold Lewis Dickinson, and he is a John Goodman-looking man who is the president's right-hand man, and he carries a coffin around with him that says Area 51, with the implication that there's an alien in there, but I don't think it's an alien. I think it's some sort of magical entity. Because this character travels across America and then some, searching for cryptids, proving that aliens do not exist. Would that be correct?
I think you know more about Gold Lewis than me.
It seems like his gag...
I haven't touched this guy yet.
Okay, he's great. I'm never a fan of heavy characters in fighting games. Potemkin is the heavy in Guilty Gear, and he's as slow as a fucking...
He is, but he will just take half your health.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
And so Gold Lewis Dickinson is a step up where he's not as slow as Potemkin. He's still, on the heavier side. Obviously, he's a big guy. But the way his coffin works is it's like a ball and chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's on a fairly decently length chain, and he can fucking reach. And he's like Potemkin, he can just destroy half your health.
Yeah.
And he's real good. And so I found with Gold Lewis, he's all about quarter circle inputs. But I'm really, really enjoying the quarter circle inputs because it's about swinging the coffin, and they work in arcs.
So he has 8 different coffin swings, and they all correspond to the direction of the input. It's I've never seen a fighting game character like that.
Because the way usually your standard fighting game character is that you do a quarter circle input and you get a horizontal beam. But in this case, you are getting arced attacks, and so in my mind, it's the connections with the inputs make sense with the flow of the animation.
Yeah, you can swing the coffin from the back of his head down past his butt to his front if you do that direction.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the kind of push and pull with the character is he's exposed when he's swinging because you've got to time these swings right, and his basic light attacks are just a very pathetic punch and kick. Because, he's not a particularly strong fighter. It's just what he's carrying, the weapon, that does the damage.
Yeah.
And so he's real fun to experiment with that way, where if you trash about and just play like a madman, you are going to do some damage, but you're also going to leave yourself exposed. And so that's been a fun trial and error. And it was just the kind of thing where I was playing with him and I was like, okay, I like how this guy feels. I gotta get used to his weight and timing.
Yeah, I think with a lot of his attack, his coffin swings, some of them leave you open after.
Yep.
And then some of them have a big wind up, so they leave you before. So I think it's about knowing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And so for some of them, the creature inside the coffin, the arm will pop out and do a little like slash. So like he's got extra reach on some of them. His 2 specials are great. There's one where he summons a... What's that thing that's always in the Resident Evil games now? A satellite that does the laser beam.
Oh, I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. That really slow laser.
Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And so he does a laser beam, but it tracks across the ground, and then there's that 1 second delay, and then there's the like scatter of explosions. And that's real fun as well, because when that happens, the character can get stunned, but you can stun them into you, then you can get some real damage. And his grab is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the headbutt thing?
Yeah. But yeah, he's a lot of fun, and I was not expecting... Because, like, I loved his design. I didn't think I'd love how to, like, playing as him, but he's a lot of fun.
You hadn't really, like, settled on a main, had you?
No.
Think this is your guy?
He's up there. He's like... I'm rotating between him, Giovanna, and Chip.
Giovanna's so fun.
Yeah, she is. She's
Chip's
amazing.
insane.
Chip's fantastic.
He has so many tools, but, like, he has the lowest health in the game.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he is.
If you see Gold Lewis versus Chip, it's ridiculous.
He chipping.
Is Gold Lewis an American?
He's the
Very.
He's the president of America's.
Okay.
Like he looks like a rich oil Texan baron looking dude.
Yeah, I looked at the picture of him and I was just like, American.
He's the most like it is an American character designed by a Japanese person who's just gone, okay, I'm gonna just draw America. He looks like he's from a country jamboree. And when he wins his fight, he has a very good internal clock where he's able to calculate how long he's been fighting for and how much is remaining on the timer up above. So he's fun. I really like the way he interacts with the other characters as well. When he wins a battle, the opponent gets abducted, but he has his back turned, and then he turns around and he's like, oh, I guess they ran away. So like, I don't know, I like him.
Yeah, he's cool. Guys, I bought a Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
It finally happened.
Yeah, it finally happened. I finally caved. About 5 months earlier than I thought I would. But it kind of just got to a point where like Game Pass became too tempting, and I was like, okay, I need to get this. I was shocked to go into town one day and look for Series S's and not find them that easily. And Xbox Series X's, I wasn't looking for them either, but the shop assistant told me completely sold out.
It's for the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, they're still sold out like everywhere. I think the S is more in stock, but goes quickly as well.
Yeah.
Never experienced that, like this far out from a launch.
Yeah. And like I'm pretty sure eBay and a lot of places have stamped down on like scalpers. Like I'm pretty sure even like with the Steam Deck release and stuff, there was a huge stamp down on scalpers with that.
But anyway, ended up finding my console, ended up bringing it home and connecting it up. And wow, Game Pass is just as impressive as everyone says it is. There's so many good games on that service. And like, it's not like, you're not talking like a Netflix catalog of games. It's not that size. Like you're talking just about over 100, I think. But it's really the quality of that 100. Like I was going down through it and I was like, Subnautica's on here, 2 Point Hospital's on here, and like new stuff like, oh god, Bryan, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Cover, do something.
Oh, I want to hear it.
It's gone. I think it went back into my body.
That's okay. It'll come back.
And like, you know, scrolling down to the bottom and seeing all the Yakuza games, that was fucking cool. And so like I downloaded a few little things. Kind of, I want to try the Ascent. You played a little bit of that, Niamh?
Yeah, I'll talk about it in a bit.
Okay. And but that's where I've been playing Death's Door. But yeah, it seems cool. Don't know how I feel about that controller.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a hand size thing, but I find the PlayStation 5 one, it's like quite large, so I find the like compactness of the Xbox one quite comfortable.
More your speed.
Yeah, definitely more my speed.
Cool. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed, pretty excited to have one. It was really weird seeing like my Xbox account again after like 8 years.
Yeah,
But isn't it
would
cool
have
that
been
you can go
2013.
into your library and like get all your old games?
I did not know that.
If you're if you'd bought digital games, they're there for
I
you
don't
to
even
re-download.
remember. Oh, I wonder is my special Dead Rising theme still on there?
What's that twin stick shooter that came out at the very beginning?
Geometry Wars?
Yeah, I bet that's still there.
Probably, yeah.
That
I thought it
game
was really cool. I went into my library and I was like, hey, all my games are here.
Yeah. It was really something being able to plug in a new console and have a massive library of like games. And I was thinking about it, and like for me, Xbox is just kind of making more sense this generation because like, you know, Sony are going all in on their like big, you know, exclusive first party titles, and the direction they've gone with them, like I don't give a fuck. Like Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, all that stuff, it just doesn't matter to me. I liked The Last of Us 2, but I mean, I wouldn't care if I was never able to play Last of Us 3, you know? And I think with Microsoft, you see them really, like, you know, getting these really weird indie exclusives like the Ascent, like Death's Door and stuff like that. And that's just more where I'm at and the kind of stuff I like to play. So.
And now you can play Halo with me co-op.
I'll play Halo with you co-op.
Yeah, bro.
You're going to get really cross with me, Niamh. And
No.
you're going to be like, John, would you just shoot the fucking aliens? And then you're going to be like, okay, look, I'm sorry. But then it's going to happen a couple of minutes
I'm
later.
very excited. I've never got any of my IRL friends to play Halo with me.
I'll play Halo with you. Which one?
The new one, but we can go back and play Reach together. Reach is great.
Tree.
Okay, I'll play Reach.
3 is
Let's
really
play
good
Reach.
as well. I really like Halo 3.
3 is great.
3. But I've always wanted to play, and I always wanted to give ODST a shot as well.
That's a fan favorite, and if you really like Nathan Fillion, then yeah, for sure. But I was like, you're not a Spartan, so.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we can play Reach. Niamh,
Yes.
why don't you tell us about that game you've been playing?
I've been playing the Forgotten City. Actually, I finished it and I tried to platinum it, and I'm one really annoying trophy away from platinuming
I take it you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
What is this game, Niamh?
So the Forgotten City is a mystery detective game set in ancient Rome. It started off life as a Skyrim mod that was extremely popular and won loads of awards for writing, and the developers, and it's a small 3-team developer, it's called Modern Storyteller, they're from Australia. They made a full release of it, but it's very much, you know, a Skyrim mod. The way the characters stop and turn and speak to you is very Skyrim-y. So the basic idea of this game is you're a person from the modern day. You get to name your character and pick your gender, and you get transported from your modern day world into ancient Rome. And when you're in ancient Rome, you are met by a character who tells you, "Welcome, friend. We are all trapped in this forgotten city. There is only one rule to live by here." And you're brought to the magistrate of the city, and you're told the one rule is the golden rule. And the golden rule is, if anyone sins in this city, everyone will die.
Boo, I'm out.
That's so hard. Everyone's a sinner.
And it's just like, whose perception of sin? What does that mean? And the magistrate tells you, I expect a person is going to sin and kill us all. And I need you to investigate and tell me who you think that person will be. And you were in basically a Groundhog Day looping cycle of that making. And
This is such a specific idea.
yeah, it's really cool. So the idea is you talk to people and you solve problems for them, and you get to know them to get an idea of who will break this rule. And I don't want to go into too many details because kind of the fun of it is finding it out for yourself, and it's a short game. It's around, I'd say your first playthrough could maybe take you 3 hours. There's 4 endings, and I got all 4 endings like in a morning kind of thing, and I decided to platinum it as well. So just to give you an example of kind of what it is, you meet a woman who is dying because she was poisoned, but you need to talk to her because she has some information about another person who's gone missing, and you need to help make her better. The person who has the antidote is selling it at an extortionate price, and you're kind of like, how is that not breaking the golden rule kind of thing to price gouge? But that's kind of fine here because there's like different rules for different places, and there's a whole pile of like, there's a lot of debate about what is like moral and what is good and what is right kind of thing. But
Does the writing pull it off?
it does. It definitely does. Like, it doesn't land on anything. It's kind of more like, and who's to say?
Pick your own wheel of
Yeah.
Who
empathy.
decides?
And pretty much kind of, but like you can like try buy the antidote. You can steal the antidote, but if
Hell
you
yeah.
steal it, everyone will die, but you'll loop back. And I stole it, and everyone started like turning to gold and dying because it's the golden rule. And I was like, oh shit. And I went to like reload the game, and the game was like, no, it's meant to do this. You're meant to Groundhog Day it and kind of find things. But the stuff that you take will keep in your inventory. So I had stolen the
So that's now a
antidote.
permanent item.
Yes. So now I can go back to the woman and heal her, and she can be like grateful to me and give me information. And there's different characters you meet, different situations that you have to solve, and there's different endings you can get. The fourth ending is called a canon ending, and I kind of didn't like that about it. I don't like a game that gives you multiple endings and then tell you that one is the right one. I kind of think that's kind of bleh. I preferred ending 3, and I wish I could have like expanded on that. But I had a lot of fun with it because it was just so interesting. Like, it was a really different experience. So if you like kind of puzzle solving and especially through dialogue choices, like one of the trophies is like Silver Tongue, where you can talk your way out of every situation kind of thing. It's like it's an interesting game from that standpoint. Like, because the golden rule exists, no one's allowed weapons in the city, for example. But what happens if an assassin enters the city with a weapon? How do you deal with that situation? How do you disarm a person? Like, that kind of thing. So it kind of gives you these problems to solve using the Groundhog Day mechanic and using your ability to talk to people. And it was a fun time. There was a bit in it. You don't have to do it if you don't want it, and then the game tells you, like, if you don't like action, you don't have to go down this route. But there was a bit that I liked the most, which was going through, a palace and having to fight off these golden monsters who were being stripped of their gold and were in pain. And I thought that was really interesting.
Has it got the Skyrim combat?
You have a bow, so
Okay.
it isn't you're not doing first person like sword combat, you're doing first person like shooting combat. So it isn't as janky.
Yeah.
It does still have its kind of Skyrim mod jank in it. Like, every time someone goes up a stairs, they're kind of like, kind of thing.
That.
Does it do the Skyrim zoom?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Especially when a character talks to you. But like,
I really
the
like
models are nice. They're nice. They put a lot of work into them, so it's never like that hilarious when it zooms in on a weird person's face.
I really like when the NPCs talking and then they're like, "Now follow me," and they're just like yakking away, and you're like, "I'm just gonna kick back, buddy," and they're just set to hit play as they go up the stairs, jank it up to the max. Amazing.
There's a bit of that in it as well. You can press X to follow people as they run through to a next area kind of thing. But just like in terms of this year, there hasn't been a lot of big releases, and I'm like playing more indie games, and it was just like a game where you don't have to engage in combat at all if you don't want to, and it's all done through kind of storytelling, and the voice acting is great. They did a great job for a game that dispenses a lot of dialogue at you. It was all very engaging and well acted and easy to listen to. So I had a fun time with it. It's a really interesting experience if you like puzzle games.
How much is it?
It was €30, which I think is €10 too expensive.
For, you said 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, for €30, that's a really tough sell. But if it's a good 3 or 4 hours,
It is a good 3 or 4 hours, and
it'll be on sale.
It's a small team, and also I spent a whole day playing it because I was just like, well, I got ending 2, time to get 1, 3, and 4, and
I have done that before, like when you're playing a small game like that, and you're just like, fuck it, I got 6 hours. Let's 100% this game.
And the more you know the area and the more you know what's like expected of you, the more you're kind of like into doing it.
Yeah.
There's one trophy that was like, get the final canon ending with the least amount of loops. And I was like, oh, I really want to figure out how to do this. And like, that was actually a really fun trophy to try and do. I was just like, oh, can I do it in 2 loops kind of thing? And like, I could. But like, yeah, if you like, and if you really like Rome and Greek and even Egyptian like myth and lore kind of stuff, like all of that is in it, and it's really cool. So it was an interesting game, but it does have, you can see where that it was birthed from a Skyrim mod, I guess.
Sometimes that can be endearing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Bryan,
Yes.
you played Ganbare Goemon 3, the mecha leg hold of Jurokube Shishi.
That is correct. This is the third in the Super Nintendo series of Ganbare Goemon, aka Go For It Goemon. aka
You can do
Legend
it,
of yeah, you can do it, aka Legend of the Mystical Ninja Tree, starring not Kid Yang, starring Goemon and his buddy Ebi Samaru. This is the third one of these. I'm gonna play through all of the 4 core games. I'm probably not gonna play any of the other spin-offs. I know there's an Ebi Samaru puzzle game. I'm gonna skip that. Then I'm gonna get into the N64 game properly.
Hell yeah. I have a feeling those N64 ones are actually going to hold up pretty good. God, I hope they do.
From what I played so far, it was very good. I don't know if I'm going to end up playing it by the end of this year. Definitely next year, because I want to play it on original hardware. I'm working on a very... Look, I'm just going to plug in my own N64 and have a good time, okay?
That's okay.
Anyway, I'm just playing these via ROM because there's very good fan translations of these games, and they've done a fantastic job localizing them. And I'm taking my time with them because I played the first 2 back to back, waited a couple months, now I'm playing the third one. So this involves the crazy old man builds a time machine and gets trapped in the future, but they have a television so they can see him in the future, and there is a nun that looks like Ebi Samaru, and she's holding him hostage, and so now Goemon and Ebi Samaru have to travel across Japan to collect items to travel into the future. So I'm only in the first 2 or 3 levels, but so far they've recruited Sasuke, who's the robot ninja.
Bryan, I think we all know who Sasuke is from Goemon. I mean,
Okay.
Who's Super Mario, Bryan? I mean,
They've also recruited Yae, who's the other ninja. She's the girl with the green hair.
Bryan, I think we all know who.
I think this is the first time Yae has been playable. And Sasuke and Yae are way more fun to play than Goemon and Ebi Samaru, because they can move faster. And this is the same kind of setup where half of the game is a top-down Zelda / Final Fantasy, RPG light, and then a tough as nails side-scrolling platformer. But I'm playing it online, so I'm using save states because Jesus fucking Christ, is this game cruel and unforgiving.
It was 2 better for that.
2 was definitely, certain sections of 2, especially when, they've also introduced these other sections where you have these set pieces where you're in Impact, which is the big giant mech that is just a giant Goemon that I think the old man built. And those are mini games, and they are very badly explained, and you have to just sort of jank your way through them. And the only way to do it is to make several mistakes and then reset to your save state and do it the way the game expects you to do it. But I think this game came out around the same time, as Final Fantasy VI, because there's a couple of moments where they parody Final Fantasy VI. So
that is so weird.
So weird, yeah.
So the way in 6, there's that opening shot where it's got the mode 7, where they're walking along the horizon in the mechs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's several moments in this game where they're in similar mechs, and these mechs are kind of like the mechs that are in Final Fantasy VI. But they're also the mechs that are in the Mega Man games, the later Mega Man X games. You know, the ones that are like the walking mechs with the 2 handles and you kind of clank your way forward. But they're in them, but it's like a wooden version of them because it takes place in, feudal Japan. But this game has a laugh track.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things
it's fucking nuts
about Goemon is it feels like it was made by absolute dickheads.
Oh yeah, for sure. With Konami.
Did you know it had a laugh track?
No, and
So when you were playing it, it just happened where you're like, what the fuck?
And this is absolutely that kind of Japanese comedy trope where you have your comedy duo and but they're both slapstick, but just one is always out slapsticking the other.
Did they redraw the sprites again?
Yeah, they did. And so the game is really, because these games were annualized, right? I think they came out 93 to 96, or maybe 92 to 95, some time frame like that. But Konami released one of these every year, and they definitely use the same engine, but they will reuse certain things. But so many of the assets are just redrawn from scratch, especially the overworld stuff, because you know how in the original Mystical Ninja SNES game, it's kind of 2.5D where you can move on the Z-depth plane, but that's kind of like the overworld light RPG. But then by the second and third game, it's more top-down. But they had to redo all of that from scratch. But then you can see where they've used previous games as the foundation and just sort of scrapped 90% of the drawing, the sprite art, and then just redid it again
They're
with
weird
like
games.
with a fresh coat of paint. But I'm having a lot of fun with this, but I'm very early on in the game. But so far, it's doing a great job of like separating each section of the game and making its own thing. And like, this is more closer narratively to the first game because there's more callbacks and the map layout is sort of similar to the first game because the second game used a Super Mario World overworld hub in which you could revisit stages.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more sequential and you can revisit certain levels, but other levels, there's like a castle you blow up early on in the game which you cannot revisit. So you have to make sure you collect all the fortune cats to up your life maximum because you only get one opportunity. Because this game has rules and then it does not have... It's got other rules for other rules. Like it's a Konami game. But I'm incredibly charmed by this game, and I'm so happy these games exist.
Out of 1, 2, and 3, which would you say is your favorite?
Working with my experience so far, probably the second one is my favorite, but 2 is really winning me over.
I remember like when I was little.
Or sorry, 3 is really winning me.
That's
yeah,
cool.
It's winning me over.
When I was little, like I was obsessed with Legend of Mystical Ninja. Like it was my favorite game. Like I would sit down for 4 hours and beat it, and then I would do it again the next day and did that over and over and over.
It's fucking brilliant.
And then I remember being in my cousin's house, and he had, for some reason, he had a Japanese Super Nintendo magazine, and like I was just going through it and then seeing Goemon, but in a game I didn't recognize, just being like, what was this? And then like I brought it to him, and like I couldn't even read at this point, I don't think. And I was like, what's this? Could you read this for me? And he looked at it and he goes, I can't. It's in Japanese. And then I was like, I think they made another Mystical Ninja. And he looks at it and he's like, the English title here says Mystical Ninja 4. I was like, what? And then for like literally like 10 years I could never learn anything else about it because, you know, there was no internet, there was no one I could ask. It was just, I just had to live with that knowledge.
And like this is like, these games are over 25 years old, right, John?
Yep.
And like this game is still incredibly confusing, so I'm using GameFAQs and I'm on a walkthrough. The walkthrough was written in 1999.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And like And like it's still written in that like old
GameFAQs text way.
Did they make a picture?
Yeah, I love
Unicode.
that.
Oh yeah, I love the Unicode stuff.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of that, but like the guy's kind of going, okay, because this is reversed because it's originally Japanese. The yes is on the right and the no is on the left, but no, it's not. And the guy keeps like the guy who's doing the guide does not know left and right, so like you going the wrong way, and I'm like, dude, you just didn't proofread this. But it's because it's so old, there's no comments on this going, dude, you fucked up. Because that's such a like a common thing now on the internet that people like, well, like they're not saying you fucked up, but people are kind of going, there's a correction here and here.
I feel like guide writing is this thing that has just really fallen off in general.
It is.
I've always been kind of fascinated as to why someone would write a guide, because it seems like such an incredible amount of work.
I think it's just it was always a labor of love from fans, and then it became a paid job, and then it's become like just like a thankless paid job, so no one kind of really does it, kind of thing. I have 2 Goemon questions.
Hit me.
Okay.
Or us.
Okay,
well,
my first
Bryan,
Goemon
you
question
know more
is,
about Goemon than me at this point.
is I have never heard of Goemon until you guys mentioned it. How many games got European releases?
One,
Just
and
one.
then the
The
N64.
N64, and then the sequel on the N64 did as well, and I think that was it.
Were they popular here?
I think on PlayStation there was 1 or 2 as well, and then there was Konami Crazy Racers on the GBA.
Did the GBA Goemon ever get a release here? Or did that even come out? I was following the development of that for ages.
They did a remake of the first 2 games for GBA, but only in Japan.
Were they very popular here, or were they kind of more of a niche thing? Because again, I never heard of them, but I wasn't in that.
I'm guessing
There were so many platformers on the SNES, and there were so many mascot platformers, but like this was Konami's flagship platformer icon.
Yeah.
And
I think they were maybe a bit too Japanese for here.
They're very hard to localize.
Yeah.
And when they do localize, it's that thing where the onigiri is now jelly donuts.
Yeah.
Well, just like in general, like buying games in Ireland was difficult. Like I travelled up from Offaly and searched every shop in like Dublin for a copy of Final Fantasy 9 on PlayStation 1. Like it was hard to get games.
Yeah, it was.
You know?
The first time I played Goemon, I went to a video game rental shop and they had to rent me an adapter for my Super Nintendo for it to play American games.
Okay.
And that was my first experience of it.
I'm pretty sure maybe 10 copies of this game came out in Ireland.
Okay.
I'll tell you who's got one, baby.
And my second question is, what happened to Goemon? Like, why didn't he stay a staple? Like, why is there no more Goemon games? Or is there more Goemon games that just never got localized?
Konami were so bad that he didn't even get to the pachinko machine phase.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, it's weird because, like, there's like a ton of Goemon games.
Yeah, there are.
They just kind of stop as Konami become terrible.
Okay.
Like, put it this way. If Silent Hill didn't survive, like...
Goemon wasn't going to survive.
Yeah.
That's super sad.
And, like, the games...
I love 90s Konami as well. Like, I love Parodius. I love the Q-em-ups.
Whenever I'd rent a game and, like, Konami would come up at the start, I'd be
Skibbity
like,
flaggity
this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, Konami or Capcom. I was like, hell yeah. You know?
This is...
And
yeah,
sometimes
like,
it would be...
a badge of honor.
Iguana, and you'd be like, oh, no.
I really liked when...
Acclaim, not Iguana.
Oh, yeah. Acclaim would show up and you'd be like, uh-oh.
Oh, no, I fucked up.
Here we go. We got a Bart game. Bart's Virtual Nightmare.
But like, Niamh, it is sad because like there is so much genuine like creativity and craft in these games. Like they're fucking bonkers, like they're completely off the wall, but they're really beautiful as well. Like they're really, really good pixel art, amazing music.
Oh, the music's amazing. And like I do think the two 3D games, especially the first one, because it's a mishmash of Mario 64 meets Ocarina of Time, but like they studied the hardware and the early games and use that to their advantage to make their own game.
Yeah.
Like they know their source material and they are making their own IP based on that. And like, it's not like a cash in. It feels like it is a labor of love.
Yeah. That's that game that I had. I didn't have a memory card. And so I just play like 6 hours and then the next day I just play 6 hours, the same 6 hours. And I loved it.
Yeah. I've got the first Goemon 64 game, and then the second one is a 2D platformer, but kind of like Kirby 64.
Bryan, if there is good emulation, I might actually play that one emulated, because from what I remember about that one, it was fucking hard.
You're going to need those save states again.
Really hard.
Also, that game costs over €100.
Oh, I have that game. I own it.
The second one?
Yep, the second one.
Okay, well, there you go. You got your little nest egg.
I got my little nest egg. My
games
little
have exploded.
Yeah, especially N64 games, because they're really hard to emulate and pirate.
SP games. They've just exploded in price.
Really?
Like, it's something fierce.
Fucking Jake Paul. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you're having a good time with them, Bryan.
I just have to pace them out because these games are like 4 or 5 hours long and they're very quick to beat on a save state. So sometimes I have to be like, okay, I might try this level manually. I last about a minute.
Niamh, did you want to talk about the Ascent?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about it really quickly because I haven't played it too much, but I started the Ascent. It's on like Xbox Game Pass, and it's like a cyberpunk sci-fi world where you have a character creator, you make a character, and it's like a top-down isometric view shooter. And my first playthrough of it, I had the most crazy bug where no enemies spawned. So I kept walking into the map and I was like picking up items, and then the items started glowing purple, and I was like, I don't think I should be picking this up without knowing what this is. And I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and I kept picking more items up, and no enemies were spawning. And I was like, I guess I just have to walk a really long time until I find something. And then like I got to an elevator and the elevator wasn't spawning, and I was like, okay, something's broken. Something's super broken in this game. So I restarted it and reloaded my save. And then as I reloaded my save, I was a level 3 character at this point, because at the start there was some enemies because it's scripted. And I was surrounded by level 20 characters as my level 3 character. So I could not get out of the area because I kept getting murdered every time I moved. and I had to restart the entire game again.
Oh dear.
I'm having fun with it, but it is extremely buggy, like super buggy.
I actually I popped it on for like a second because it was on Game Pass, and my first thing was like, oh, they did not scale this text for consoles.
Yeah, tiny.
Yeah.
I'm just having a very buggy time with it, and a lot of like I'm trying to do side missions, and it gives you kind of like a marker, like a kind of glowing thing that you can follow to the area of the side mission. Every time I get there, there's like an elevator, and the elevator doesn't spawn, and I'm like, is this a bug, or am I not high level enough to be here, or can I not do this mission yet, and should I be on the main quest line? And it takes so long to get to these points, and then I have to walk all the way back to the city and reload another thing. And I felt like a lot of the time I was just wasting time with it.
This sounds so tedious.
It was extremely tedious, so I was just like, I'm going to wait until they iron out these things.
Yeah, that seems like the way to go.
It was like, it's very beautiful looking. Like, it's this, like, again, isometric top-down thing, but it's like, the amount, like, as someone who loves in creating textures, and that's like sometimes part of my job, they create really beautiful textures to create this environment. I'm like, wow, that box looks good, or that floor texture looks great. Like, it's a very, very pretty indie game, but I'm just like, I felt like I was wasting a lot of my time, so I was gonna like, I'm gonna give this a bit longer to cook. And I know a lot of people are having a lot of fun with it, but like the amount of time I've spent with it has been just so buggy and just demoralizing, and felt like I was just wasting time a lot of the time.
Do you feel like the game underneath is going to be worthwhile?
Yeah, like the combat I did get to play and stuff, like I was just like, sorry to like equate everything to Destiny, but I'm like a first person shooter like loser. So I was just like, it's like Destiny, but from a different perspective. Like, it was just a lot of like aliens running at you and you shooting them and switching to shotgun and switching to your like
Rifle.
Just different guns, yeah, and like just
Pistol.
having fun. Yeah, it was machine gun. There we go. So I was like into the combat side of it, but it was just so fucking buggy that I was like,
okay, yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna take a look at it by the end of the year. Yeah, like it seems cool. And like I was looking at some screenshots of it, and it's like, you know,
the lighting looks amazing.
Cyberpunk
it's gorgeous
dystopia
looking.
with a giant golden Buddha smashed in the middle. And it's like, hell yeah.
It looks super cool, and like I like my character who I made. The character creator is kind of limited, but I like her kind of stuff, and like I like that you can buy
pick
armor.
A girl, and by default they give you a buff fucking girl.
Yeah, it's cool, and I want to like it, and I know a lot of people do, so I'm going to kind of give it a while for console to kind of just get patched and go in and enjoy it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm going to check that out too. Guys, last week I said that I'd played like a little bit of The Great Ace Attorney. This is the Sherlock Holmes-esque Phoenix Wright game that came out on Switch recently.
Takes place in the late 19th century.
The late 19th century. It takes place actually just as Japan had opened its borders and ended isolation. And I've played a lot more of this game. I think I played about 15 hours.
That's a good chunk of time.
That's a good chunk of time. And I feel like this game gave me a very good like starting impression. I was like, this seems really cool. And like I kind of had a lot of questions going into it, because like for me, by the time I hit Phoenix Wright, I can't remember if it's Justice for All or Trials and Tribulations, the third one, but I was kind of done with Phoenix Wright. I was kind of like, okay, that is enough Phoenix Wright for me, because those three games they're great. They're very similar. Very, very similar. And, you know, they follow a very particular pattern. And there's stuff I love about Phoenix Wright. There's stuff I didn't love about it as well. In, like, I love the court cases. I hated the exploration sections. They were such a fucking pain to navigate your way around.
And it's just pixel hunting.
It's just pixel hunting. And I kind of felt ready for another Phoenix Wright game with this one. And I think I was just expecting more Phoenix Wright. You know, I was expecting more Ace Attorney. Like, Phoenix Wright isn't in this. It's new guy. And I think what I maybe was not expecting was the old Ace Attorney games sort of just like polished to a mirror sheen with so much more flourish and so much more production value, and a lot of the kind of stuff I didn't like about them just gone. Immediately I started to get real like old school Phoenix Wright vibes from it, And I looked it up, and like, surely enough, it's directed by Shu Takumi, who did Ghost Trick, and who was the original like creative force behind the Phoenix Wright games.
Ghost Trick is so good. That game's out 10 years now.
I've still never played it properly.
I can lend you. It's one of the greatest video games ever made.
I keep waiting for it to come out on, you know, something reasonable, and it keeps not doing that.
Nah, it's not.
What is it out on? Sorry, I don't know it.
The Nintendo DS.
Okay.
Like, but it came out.
There's a little dog. What's he called? Bullet?
Missile.
Just look him up. That'll be it.
He's the. I'll show you a picture. Missile. No, he's not going in the art. He's not going in the art. No.
When one of us plays,
no, because none of us have played this game in 10 years.
When one of us plays Ghost Trick, when one of us plays Ghost Trick, the whole thumbnail just
will be
missile.
like missile. Okay, that's fair. But you've like asked me to put like the poster of Big in the art before, so this is just a weird.
Look. This is just a side note. I'm not looking for a missile. I'm looking for Missile the dog.
Did you just type in missile in Google?
Why isn't the Ghost Trick character coming up?
He's cute. He's a little palm, is he?
Yeah, he's a little palm. Oh, he's a lovely little fella.
Yeah. But Shu Takumi also directed Dino Crisis 2, which I was not aware of, and I don't think people like that game. Don't make Shu Takumi make a shooter.
Yeah.
Because
make him a game where you got lots of text.
Yeah. So this game has surprised me in a lot of different ways, and one of the things I really love about it is actually the period it's set. And this kind of put me off when I heard of this game initially, because I don't fucking care about the late 19th century. Was karate even real then? There's no way to tell. But like, it's not like an era I had really any reverence for, or any interest in spending time with. It is really interesting, the stuff they do with it, because the whole kind of conceit of this game is that the Japan's just opened its borders, and it wants to learn its justice system from the UK. So the first trial you do takes place in Japan, and there's all this stuff like the idea of preserving a crime scene wasn't a thing. So it's really chaotic as to how they actually prove what happened, and like the trial kind of goes like wrong in that way, and you have to kind of pull it back, and it's really, really well done like that. But also there's more like racism in this game than I thought there would be.
Japan's very xenophobic, and I'd say
no,
it was
not that kind of racism.
Oh dear.
Please tell me it's anti-Brit sentiment.
It's anti-Japanese sentiment from British people.
Wow.
Oh.
And I was not expecting that.
Well,
and like,
I guess they wouldn't. They would think less of the protagonist,
and they do, and it's like it's a constant thing. And like, I'm not gonna say
fucking
that this game is like fucking woke ass Ace Attorney. Like it's part of the world. I don't think they're gonna like make a big statement or anything, but it's cool to see.
It's acknowledged.
Yeah, it is acknowledged, and like you feel it, because like you kind of various things happen, and you end up in Victorian London, and it's like you're the dude whose name completely escapes me, and you're with his legal assistant who's also Japanese, and she's great as well. She's just very nice and very diligent, and she's like the Maya Fey of the game. She is, but like she's really smart, and she helps you, and she's really strong, and I like her.
Okay.
But it's really interesting seeing this post-isolation Japan meeting this complete other culture, and they really play into the cultural differences in some ways. And also like they've done their research on like Victorian London, because I keep running into stuff in the game and I'm like, was that real? And then I look it up and like, yeah, it was real. I learned that that I don't know if it's Victorian, but early late 19th century England used to have a window tax. So basically the way they would decide if you were rich was how many windows you had on your house. And the crushing part is that what poor people ended up doing was bricking up the windows of their house so they could pay less tax. So like poor people were not even allowed sunlight in this fucking nightmare land.
Yeah, in this smog of a grim empire.
Yeah. And so like the setting and stuff just feels really rich, and they really kind of wrench a lot of material from it, the other side of it is like, the actual kind of court cases and mysteries. And a lot of this is really inspired by Sherlock Holmes, obviously, because Sherlock Sholmes is a major character in the game. I don't know the specifics of the copyright shit, but apparently
I thought he was like, out of like,
Yeah.
like he's like
He
public
is public.
domain.
He is public domain.
he is, and I don't know the specifics, but something about the inclusion of Sherlock Holmes meant this game was not localized for like 5 years.
Huh, okay, I have 2 questions.
I don't know if I'll be able to answer them because that's literally all I know, but go on.
Okay. Well, first question is, so this is a remaster of an old game.
These are 2 3DS games
Yeah.
that have been ported to the Switch.
Okay.
They came out about 6 or 7 years ago, around the time that there was a Phoenix Wright Professor Layton crossover.
And was there a lot of remastering to them, or it's hard to tell kind of thing?
I didn't. Okay, I knew that these were remastered games. I didn't know they were from the 3DS because these games are beautiful.
Okay,
Okay.
so the way they did these games, and I think they did it for the Phoenix Wright 5 as well, is that these games were made for a better console and then scaled down for the bad graphics that the 3DS has.
Okay.
It really looks like that.
Okay, cool.
Because Ghost Trick was the same, where there are like raw materials for Ghost Trick that look amazing, and then it's just this compressed
Yeah,
jank.
I
keep saying jank.
So
but
they
yeah,
have
there's
gorgeous
this-
assets ready to
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
for a
yeah, they are.
remaster.
I was kind of shocked when you said they're 3DS because like
the raw
the
assets of this
character
game
models
are,
in this are just beautiful. I talked before about like how much I love the animation in Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright is some of my favorite animation in games, like because it's so limited and because of how much each drawing matters. That's not the case. That is, they go with the same style where you have like your base character and they have like their base pose, and then they have all these different animations that are like expressive of the poses of like
they're
different scenarios.
3D rigs, aren't they?
3D rigs, completely all 3D.
Okay.
The animation style is still limited, but I don't think it's even limited. I don't think that's the right. It's like precise in that they'll snap into another pose and snap into another pose, but now like the in-betweens are done because it's 3D, but they're like phenomenal. Like the animation in this game is so fucking great. And when I say like it's great animation, normally when you say great in a video game animation, you mean like, spinning swords or like, real graceful ballet style combat or whatever.
Really appealing poses.
Yeah, but with this, it's not an action thing, it's an emotion expression thing. Whereas like it is so, the facial expressions, like the kind of, like the prosecutor in this is called, I think he's Van Zykes, and he's basically Miles Edgeworth crossed with Dracula.
Perfect.
It's like he starts every trial with like his cape over his face like
He's
that.
got his cowl going.
And then when he gets serious, he throws off the cape and he drinks wine, and he'll like sometimes like he'll be drinking wine and then he'll like fuck the wine into like the chandelier next to him and it'll all go up in flames, and it's all this just real like amazing camp drama, and it's brilliant.
Okay. How about when, because this is a common thing in the Phoenix Wright games where the fucker who's guilty and they crack, and it's that veneer where they have their like original expression, and then as they're getting broken down, and then you get to see the monster version
I have
of them.
selected a particular character I want to break down, but the character I've selected isn't even the murderer, so I'm not going to spoil it. Or is he? But because I don't want to spoil anything. But basically, there's one part early on.
I love when
in
a
the game
character cracks.
where it's so good, where you're interrogate or you're cross-examining this like Japanese army general, or just I think he's a foot soldier, and he's just real stoic. He's standing straight on. There's nothing unusual about him, which is odd because every character in Phoenix Wright has like their quirk. But when he gets riled up and like raises his voice, you hear a baby cry, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then like you find like you find the contradiction in his statement, and you kind of push him on that, and you push him, and then like he's like, "Oh, maybe I was wrong about that." And next thing, a little baby's head comes up from behind his shoulder, and he doesn't acknowledge it. He just reaches his hand and like pushes it down behind him. And then the more you push him and the more you break his contradiction, the more his kid who's like on his back starts acting up and like, you know, pulling at him, and he's trying to control his kid and he's trying to answer you. And then when you really fuck him up, when you expose his entire deal, his kid reaches from behind, grabs his mustache and starts riding him like a horse around the courtroom. And it was fucking brilliant. Every freak out is that good. That sensation of like peeling back the layers of a character and unearthing their lies, and every time they, you know, you get a little visual signifier that they're a little more fucked up, it does that so perfectly, and it's incredible, you know. And like, it's not even just the animation, the designs of the characters. You know, like with a lot of anime, manga, Japanese stuff, you're gonna get here's the semi-muscular man and the statuesque woman. There's just all different body types, all different characters. They show such a joy in like the expression of the characters. This one character who you only talk to from side on, and he has the face of like a perfect moon. But then it's like, you start to be like, wait, why isn't he looking at me? And then like on the other side of his face is another thing that reveals something about the case. And it's a joy. And like, on top of everything, I feel like this game has kind of cut out a lot of the chaff with Phoenix Wright, where with old Phoenix Wright games, I would either run into a situation where I'd be pixel hunting, or I would just be throwing items randomly at the person, being like, is this the contradiction? Is this the contradiction?
You're trying different word combinations with evidence.
That has never happened to me in this game.
So the game flows solid.
I have been stuck once or twice, but then I have oh, wait a minute, I see what's going on here, and like, I figure it out. I reach the conclusion.
My second question.
Yeah.
As someone who has never ever played a Phoenix Wright game, is this a good one to start with?
Perfect place to start.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not dependent on anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Then like, the other part of it as well is like, I do think there has always been like this tenderness to Phoenix Wright. I feel like it is it's a very positive, uplifting series, and like, I think, you know, one of the ways when it like you've seen that tenderness kind of expressed is like, there was a huge BL scene that grew up around that sprang up around Phoenix Wright.
Hell
to
yeah.
the point that like Shutakumi and the people who made the original Phoenix Wright googled Phoenix Wright, and they were like, whoa. And their instinct was actually to lean into it. Like, they were like, clearly this is something that people like in our games. And the woman who originally designed Phoenix Wright and Edgeworth, like, she was a huge BL fan, and obviously it was coming through because they're like such a massive ship for people. And what I'd say about this game is, I'm not going to be like, this game is, you know, super gay or anything. This game is as gay as you want it to be. There is a point where the main character of this game, and I'm annoyed I can't remember his name because I really love him. He's brilliant.
I'll find out his name.
Yeah. He has a very special male friend who they can't stand to be apart from each other. And so his friend is the one who's going to become a lawyer and is going to London on a ship and is going to sail away for 50 days. And he actually brings the main character along with him, and you hide in his closet. His closet!
Objection! What is this welling up inside me?
Ryunosuke?
Ryunosuke is brilliant. He has this little animation thing that I love, in that like, he's quite kind of stiff and quite stern, and sometimes like in court he'll stand up real tall and like try and look real serious, but as he does, he just has this little pupil dart where he'll kind of like look from side to side because he's not confident. And it is such a tiny piece of animation, but it is so endearing. And honestly, I just feel nearly like universally positive about this game. Even the prosecutor has really interesting stuff going on, Van Zykes, because it's like, oh, anyone who ever gets put against Van Zykes, they call the accused the accursed, because no one ever makes it out of a trial with Van Zykes. And it's really interesting because, you know, because he's your opponent, you do beat him and you get your client proven innocent. But then someone's like, no, you don't understand. When Van Zykes goes up against someone, it's not that they always get proven innocent, it's that they always receive punishments. And that turns into its own thing in a way I don't want to spoil. But it also it actually goes into questioning the job of a lawyer and the justice system, because again, don't want to spoil too much, and honestly I don't know, because this is kind of from a court case but it might seem like there's a point when someone you're defending might actually not be that innocent, and that's super interesting because that's the place where the original trilogy got to eventually, but they just kind of go straight there this time.
Yeah, because the last trial of the second game, Justice for All, that's a fucker.
Yeah,
totally. It's amazing, but what the fuck?
And they kind of have a similar spin on this, where it's you kind of realize there's something fucking up with the person you're defending, but you've won the trial, you've kind of proved them, and so your boss is it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he did it or not. You won the trial. I don't give a shit. Next trial, fucker. And it's it's great. I love this game. I am really having a fantastic time with it. It's not going to be for everyone because there's a lot of text, but I do think it wastes a lot less of your time than the previous games, and I am just in love with so many of the characters. It's one of those games I can't wait to see the next character that comes along, because every one of them, I'm interrogating a married couple right now. I haven't even fucking talked about Sherlock Holmes, okay?
Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, some of your, okay, you know the way in the previous games, some of the pixel hunting sections, there's one case in this that is just a kind of non-court section, but what it is instead is you and Herlock Sholmes solving a locked room mystery.
Oh, I love a locked room.
And the way that particular... the game, it has an amazing way of being you're okay, I think I know what's going on here, and you might be right, but it has a way of pulling out and giving it this larger context that you never saw coming, and sometimes it's scary, the actual reveal at the end, and sometimes it's really sweet. And the ending of the second case, I thought, revealed this really sweet but sad found family kind of thing, and it's great. I'm gonna shut up about it now because I know I've gone on about it for a while, but I think this game is fantastic.
You convinced me. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna be my first Ace Attorney.
You might hate it. You might be like, John, you motherfucker.
It sounds good. I don't think I will.
I think at the very least,
the writing is always great in these games.
At the very least, Niamh, I think, and I do think you'll like it.
I like the character designs
genuinely
already.
do think you like it, but I also think that there's some character designs in it, and I just wanted to send you this screenshot and be like, look at this fucking guy.
Draw this vampire man.
Oh, Van Zykes is so good. He does this point, but he doesn't quite close his hand, so it's kind of...
Ooh.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. But I am having just a blast with this game. Third case was a little weak, but the third case seems like a setup for a bigger case.
Is the fourth case the last case? Because usually with these games there's four cases.
There's 5 cases.
There's 5 cases?
Yeah.
It's not been 5 cases in an Ace Attorney game in years.
Oh, and by the way, this is a 2-pack. So I'm playing the first game. It's 40 quid. You get both games.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because they're 2 3DS games that came out in 2016 or 2017 back to back, one year after the other.
I think it is the most joy a game has brought me in a decent amount of time. Disco Elysium made me feel many things. I don't know if it was joy necessarily, but this is just great, and it's kind of it's right in my brain. I'm always thinking about it, and I can't wait to play more. Quicktime Events? Quicktime Events. Luke announced for Street Fighter.
So, John.
So.
Is Luke a new character?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw this, right? Mm-hmm. Then I just went back to playing Guilty Gear as Gold Lewis. That's how I felt about Luke.
Okay. Luke is the new character in Street Fighter, but from the way Capcom are talking about him, it sounds like he's going to be
very important in 6.
Yeah, it sounds like they're getting ready to announce 6, and Luke is going to be the poster child, at least the poster child the way Alex was the poster child of 3. I think his design fucking sucks.
He's not anything.
Yeah, Niamh, you're looking at him there.
I'm looking at him. I'm disappointed because I thought the black stuff on his leg was originally tattoos because he has tattoos on his chest, and I thought the work on his legs was like black work, like kind of geometric, but it's just like under shorts kind of thing, under his short shorts.
And they do that ink effect sometimes when they land heavy hits.
Yeah, he looks kind of basic. He's like a boxer wearing boxer shorts, and he has a bit of a chest tattoo with some stars on his shoulders, which is very 2000s.
Yeah.
He looks like a medium weight UFC fighter that you forgot existed.
Like, I guess it's just frustrating because, like, now, to be fair, like, I watched this guy's gameplay trailer. His gameplay looks really fun. Like, he looks really, really fun to play as, but so much of Street Fighter is, like, you know, it's an aesthetic. It's like, you know, it's Dalsim's elephants, like, roaring in the background. It's, you know, E. Honda's weird sumo ring. It's Zangief's Russian lava factory. And then, like, the way you end Street Fighter 6 is another white blonde dude.
Just some prize fighter.
And it's just...
Like, if someone told me, like, this is Ken's son from the future, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's...
That'd be a way better backstory.
It's just like, you know, Bryan, what you said about, like, Guilty Gear. Like, let's look at the new characters that Guilty Gear. You got Giovanna.
Yeah.
You've got Nagoriyuki. And now you have Gold Lewis. Like... Those three characters, like, you just look at them and there's like just an incredible difference, and they're all fucking awesome. Like, they all have this really cool stuff. With this guy, it's like, yeah, I have a positive attitude and I like punching things, and it's like,
I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think Street Fighter, like, has taken its current cast seriously enough. Like, I think they all just have this goofy phone game appeal to them. That's it. Sorry, a ghost frightened me.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, but I'm pretty disappointed, and I just feel kind of bummed out about where Street Fighter's at, and I hate to say it, but, like, it's Street Fighter 5. I do like the game a lot. It still, to me, feels like a game made by people who don't understand Street Fighter, and I do not mean, like, the, you know, people coding and, like, designing the game, like the kind of boots on the ground people. I mean, like...
The Capcom committee.
It just feels like Capcom being like, how can we leverage Street Fighter to make money, and what are the most broadly appealing characters we can possibly make, and this just feels like that.
It really sounds like them making Poochie the dog.
Well, remember when this game came out, and it was like all the microtransaction shit and like
the sponsorship
the ads
stuff,
on the gloves,
branding.
Yeah, I've bought like several editions of this game. I can still only play on like 6 stages because you have to buy the rest of them, and it's just I am disappointed where Street Fighter's at. I would hope that Capcom are learning from their successes with, like, you know, the remakes and Monster Hunter, and that if they do things well, people will like it, because that's not where Street Fighter's at, and I'm kind of bummed. Anyway.
You thought that news was bad. We'll get a load of this one. I'm sorry to announce that Horizon Forbidden West is reportedly delayed until the first quarter of 22.
Bryan, we have 2 news items left here, and I wasn't quite sure which one you were leading into, and I'm glad it was the Horizon delay.
Well, I'm not. The other one is actual bad news.
I know. That's why I'm glad.
This is a game none of us are particularly interested in, outside of the fact that it's a first-party Sony game, and we were talking earlier on about the differences between what Microsoft and Xbox are doing and Sony and PlayStation are doing, and it's just they've got these flagship console exclusives and they're just delaying them. And what's their big Christmas game this year? Because I thought it was the new Horizon game, but I guess it's not.
Yeah, I mean, like,
they've got Chicory. No, right?
Yeah, they really have not justified the purchase of a PS5.
No.
I've never felt bitter about owning like a release day console. I've like never ever had buyer's remorse with a console. I think I have it with the PS5.
I need to give Returnal a proper shot. But
yeah, no, I do, because I do think you'd like Returnal.
Yeah.
I think you could click with that game, because I didn't, but I think you would.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like I've played a couple hours of it here and there, but I haven't really like dug in. But yeah. And then last news item, there was a hostile work culture at Fulbright, namely around I think it was a co-founder of the company.
Yeah, and creative director.
Yeah, and like a lot of this sounded aimed at like their like female staff.
Yeah, workplace bullying and pointing out the female staff in particular and kind of making fun of them in front of the rest of the team.
It's like, I couldn't find a whole lot of details around it, but then when you see that it's like 7 women left in like a really short span of time.
Yeah, I think 10 of them left over the space of, and this is Fulbright is the studio that
did
made
Gone Home
and Tacoma, which are both amazing games, and they have a new game coming out that isn't a first-person game. It's a road trip game.
Yeah, it's the one with Kerry Russell and Caitlin Dever in it and stuff. So I've been really looking forward to this, and it's just so disappointed to have these kind of female-fronted games, and then you hear like the company behind it is just this fucking toxic work culture specifically for women, and it's just like,
especially because in the narrative of their games, it's all about empathy and understanding, not straight white guys.
Well, it's just like one prick can ruin it all, you know.
Anyway, this guy's admitted his misconduct. Well, like, it's not so much misconduct, just toxic behavior and his step down.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no like act or breaking point. Like, it's not quite like a story of like an attack or direct abuse. It just sounds like constant
microaggressions.
Yeah, and it's like, that fucking sucks.
I'm not sure what this person's name is, but I don't want to know. Doesn't matter what their name is. Because it's better that they're forgotten and the company continues on and improves.
Yeah, and like they've done some good stuff, and like I think when you hear Fulbright, you know the kind of game you're getting, and I want those kind of games to
they're
exist.
lovely games.
I just don't want people to suffer making them.
No,
it's disappointing.
Like it's probably like a big career achievement for people, especially women, to work in this studio, to work on the studio to make Gone Home.
Yeah, imagine how excited some of these women must have been to like get hired there.
Yeah,
but yeah, it fucking sucks. Hope they're doing better. Hope they're doing okay. Emails. Okay.
Before we read out the emails,
okay,
we should say the name of the email address.
I don't know if it has a name.
No, okay, I'm not doing a bit. I want to get right into it.
No, I seriously don't know the name.
Okay, it's askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Okay, I can confirm that is definitely not the name.
It is.
No way that's the name.
It is. Okay.
Don't send emails to that address.
I fucking dare you. Askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
Everyone, I want you to hit send. It doesn't even matter if you've like finished the first word in your sentence. A, B, doesn't matter. Just send me a letter.
Yeah. Whatever you got, just send it.
I want to see those emails. I want to add some stars because I want to read out some emails. I've got a few selected here already, and Niamh, I see you looking at one or two.
I have, yeah.
Okay, now first of all, we were talking about this earlier on, and I know we need to fucking settle this debt and just walk away from it. There is this email here from someone who related to John's shenanigans. Mm-hmm. John, do you want to tackle this, and then we're kind of
just get it out of our lives,
and then it's done, and then we're
okay. The
final shit email.
Okay, John, I got it here.
Okay, not a question, just a thing the poop episode made me do. Hey Bryan, Niamh, and John. A few weeks ago, I was drawing a self-portrait while listening to Let's Fight a Boss episode, something that I really enjoy while doing art. I was working on my lips when my reflection decided to smile uncontrollably, forcing me to stop drawing for a while until my usual resting face returned. It happened a few other times too, and it was kind of surreal seeing a detached version of my face contort without my permission. Whoa. And totally out of my control, especially since I don't think I have ever seen my face do a genuine smile before. I loathe having my picture taken and will either try and hide behind someone or keep the most unremarkable expression on my face. So seeing myself do a real smile in a real time was a brand new experience for me. Anyway, thank you, John. Your poop park saga interrupted my workflow and forced me to be happy. I hope you don't relieve yourself in any other outdoor public places. Well, look, first of all...
And it's from Tiernan.
And Tiernan. First of all, Tiernan, I'm glad you had a good experience. On that second part, listen, as far as I'm concerned, the gloves are off. I don't fucking give a shit anymore. Society cannot hold me.
It's just something the body does.
I just thought that was a lovely email to like have someone like involuntary smile and notice it, because like it's something you don't notice that yourself. Like,
It's
you
very
never see yourself.
authentic.
Yeah, you never see yourself on involuntary smile, and that's
Yeah,
like really interesting.
it's
And
sweet.
also that's just like a really good exercise that you're doing, Tiernan, like life drawing from your own face. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't done that in so long.
Yeah, same. Not since like portfolio prep.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, I got this one here from Keenan. It's specifically addressed to John. I wonder why. So the
Okay.
subject is eating food you found.
Okay.
Hi, John. I found today inside an empty train compartment after work at 11 p.m. an open bag of chips from my favorite brand. Around a third was left inside. I took it and ate it right away. They were delicious, yet a little wet.
Oh no!
Have you ever done something similar? Today is my 25th birthday. Okay, happy birthday, Keenan. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
You're 25 years alive on this planet, and
So
what a
And
way to
really
live.
challenging it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. I don't eat found food ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I don't think I'd be so beyond it not to do it. Like if I was hungry, I would just do it. But like, there's never been a situation where I have done it.
okay, how about at parties, Niamh, and there's like what's left of the jelly beans, and you're like,
Oh, Bryan, shut up. You know I fucking wolfed that shit down. I was like so high at one of your parties that I was eating brownies off a knife and then caught myself, and I was just like, oh my god, what's wrong with me?
One time, I think I can't remember the context, but we were eating, and we were eating cookies, but there was also like Dorito chips and dip, and I watched Niamh like eating a cookie, and a little piece fell off and submerged itself in the dip in front of her, and I was kind of like, I wonder how this will play out, because she can't leave it in the dip, but she can't dig her fingers into the dip either. What's she gonna do? And I watched her scoop the salsa'd cookie out
With a chip.
no, it was just the cookie. Yep. And just insert the salsa cookie into her mouth and eat it. But the expression on her face was convinced that no one saw, but I did.
brilliant. So one time, John and I were at wrestling. And
I was going to tell this story.
okay, so this dude, if you listen to the podcast, thank you very much, because he did know who we were, but it was kind of dodge, and
I think we had just had a conversation about how we should probably stop accepting food from strangers.
so anyway, this guy comes up to us at wrestling, and he's like, and this is before the wrestling starts, we're all getting into our seats, and they're kind of doing the warm-up, and it's like, show will be live in about 5 minutes, and this guy kind of spots us from across and walks over to us with a Tupperware box and goes, hey, I love the podcast, do you want a brownie? And we were like, yeah, okay. And like, he just had like homemade brownies ready to go.
Yeah.
And we like, but
Were
you
they
know,
special brownies?
no,
Dude, come on.
Oh, they were delicious.
they
though.
were delicious,
was
and they
funny
had
though,
Mars
because,
bar
like,
in it. It was amazing.
I'm pretty sure, like, I think it was that night, Bryan, where I had kind of said to you, we probably can't take food because,
or like sealed food.
Things were just getting to the point where it was like, oh, someone could probably poison us if they wanted to. And then that guy came over with his brownies, and like we both
But he
saw,
was lovely.
We both saw that they had like Mars bar, and so he left, and we were there with our brownies, and I think we were both like, well, like, we're gonna eat this one.
No, but like since then I've seen him at wrestling gigs, and like because him, and I think it's either his dad or an older brother, but like he has an older male family member with a big bushy beard, and like he knows who he is, and
I think
people,
Michelle knows who that older bushy person is.
because it's a small
Yeah,
world,
yeah, it's a
because
small world.
Ireland is just a very tiny country.
The first time,
Yeah, but I've seen him since, so like he is a sound guy, and I wouldn't be worried about dodge brownies from
I
him.
want to eat one of his brownies.
go to wrestling.
I will. Invite me to the next one.
We will.
Okay.
And
It'll-
if you're
it'll all
listening,
have-
buddy, if you can seek us out and you have brownies, I will eat that. Please don't poison us.
No, because we will eat your brownies.
Yeah. I remember the first time, Bryan, you ever got recognized, or I think it was the first time you got recognized as a like boss cast member that was at wrestling, and you seemed so shocked.
I was.
Yeah.
Because I always bump into people I know at wrestling, but it's through work, never from the podcast.
I think that was at the point though, like we've been doing the podcast maybe like 2 or 3 years, like not that long, and like my channel wasn't super big or anything, and I remember a dude come over and was like, "Oh no way, Super Eye Patch Wolf! Oh no way, Brian!" And you were
The Bryan.
It's the Bryster. Never. That's not a name.
Please, if you meet Bryan, call him the Bryster.
No, just call me like Lil B or something.
Little B.
The Brystar.
What, like that game Rystar?
Yep, that's it.
That was like Sega's attempt at making
Can
Kirby.
someone Photoshop that cover?
Fucking Rystar, and his whole thing was that he used to like grab and like hold on to like ledges and like hang from grips and stuff.
Do you get recognized from the podcast much, Brian?
I'd say every 6 months, but it's enough that it catches me off guard.
What about you, Niamh?
Only once or twice. There was a time before when someone was looking at me and I was just like, why are they looking at me? And then they were just like, podcast. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't know, but not that often. But I ended up working with people who listen to the podcast, and I thought that was really weird.
That's insane.
Yeah, because I know back when we were working in studios and offices, I would walk past people's screens and they'd have like YouTube or Spotify open.
I know,
but I'd recognize the artwork, and I'd be like, and I'd stop them and go, "You listen to that?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, but I didn't want to say because it'd be weird." And I'd be like, "It's okay. I never mentioned a podcast at work, so it's fine."
That's really
and
crazy.
And they'd be like, "How come we've never spoken?" And they'd be like, "Well, we have. It's just I didn't say anything back." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah. I guess that's how the podcast works because you're like the fourth muted person."
So much about you.
Yeah.
That's what's like weird about it, is that someone knows so much about your like life, and then like you're like, I don't know your name,
Yeah.
but you know my favorite video games.
Yeah. It's a weird. Life's strange.
Okay, I got one more. This is from Chris, and these are some quick fire questions. Is that okay?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we never answer these fast. They're going to be answered at the pace that we are.
Moderate fire questions.
Okay, Niamh, you got this open as well?
Is this Chris? Yeah.
Yeah. And it says, I'm not reading out our surnames.
I liked it though.
It's very good. So I'm sultry. Niamh, you're
Based
John.
is a wild thing.
I mean,
Okay, Niamh, how about you take these away?
You have to beat someone in a game of your choosing in order to save your life. Which game do you choose?
Is it like a video game or like a
Just
chess
a game? Just a game. Could be a video game. Could be a board game. Monopoly.
My game is Supermarket Sweep. I fucking crush it.
What? Just like grabbing the expensive shit in a cart?
Gonna get a good
I've
deal.
always wanted to do Supermarket Sweep. That's like my dream.
like you know, some people's like dream is to spin the wheel.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
Yeah,
I want to push a
Supermarket
trolley
Sweep,
around.
like,
what's your
it's-
tactic, Brian?
Go to fucking go to the tech side, or go to like
Niamh,
just
with all due respect, shut the fuck up. I want to hear what Brian's tactic is.
Okay, I'm gonna measure the trolley before you start.
See? You see?
And what I'm gonna do is every TV unit is gonna fit. There is gonna be no negative space in that trolley. I am stacking that
That's
fucker.
bullshit. Go for headphones. They're small and expensive.
AirPods do pack a punch. Yeah. Fuck, tech is so weird now.
I know.
Niamh, John, yeah, the game to save someone's life.
To save my own life, I would probably say Destiny. Destiny.
She's pretty good at Destiny.
Yeah, pretty good at Destiny.
I would say Capcom versus SNK 2 or Tekken Tag Tournament 1. Also, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, motherfuckers.
Wait.
Started playing that.
Oh Jesus!
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, Niamh, we should duel.
we will.
I just unlocked bonds.
I don't know what that means yet because I'm a new player.
He's a very gaunt-looking kid.
Okay.
I'm watching Rebecca play it, and sometimes she smiles, but not really. It's
breaks me.
a very addictive game.
Me and Rebecca are dueling in, like, I think the next 2 weeks.
Fucking
Are you,
finally.
the next 2 weeks, are you like working up to this?
He's-
are you,
he's
are you
working on his deck.
training?
We've been working up to this for several months. You can't hop on this saga now and be like, "Oh, it's happening." No,
What-
this has been ongoing.
What's your deck like based around?
like? I'm gonna fucking tell you.
private.
That is such a private question, Niamh. You just ask it on a public podcast.
It's like-
that is listened to by tens of thousands. Here's my fucking dragon deck. Yeah, right, Niamh.
So it's a dragon deck.
It's not a dragon.
I
deck.
think
I'm
it's
not.
based,
I'm not a stupid Kaiba player, Niamh.
I think it's based on the occult.
But which am I doing vampires?
You're doing.
Oni, I'm gonna ask you to edit that part out.
You're playing as his
Blue eyes,
kid. He's got his
white dragon.
deck.
Or am I?
Can't play as like fucking.
I
blue
feel
eyes
really
with-
basic, Chris. I've been playing a dragon deck.
Oh, you stupid blue-eyed white dragon, spirit of white dragon, alternate white dragon, get fucked.
Okay.
Stupid Kaiba players, you're ruining the fucking game. You're not fun to fight. You think when I fucking attack you and it's that stupid-ass fucking maiden
John,
of
it's
what-
Red Eyes. I'm playing as Joey.
Okay, that's fine. You think when I
Joey.
fucking attack your face down card and it's that stupid fucking negate damage maiden of white, you think
Yeah,
you're a
that's
fucking
bullshit.
creative genius? Go fuck yourself.
Okay, so earlier on I got in a very light argument, but God was a pedantic with Rebecca. I was saying, okay, so I sent her, okay, so in the TV show and manga Yu-Gi-Oh, they play a card game called Duel Monsters. In the real life, you play a card game, but it's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game. And she was like, yeah, and she showed me and she was like, yeah, it's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. She was like, there's nothing there that says Duel Monsters, Bryan. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's in the fictional universe. But like, do you not see the logic here? And she was like, no. Like, I'm the idiot. Obviously.
Look, 500 years ago...
Back in ancient Egypt.
When I started that game, I was like, I don't dig about this. What's an XYZ monster?
Okay.
What the fuck?
Oh my
that's the next
God.
thing. XYZ summons, pendulum summons, synchro summons. Go fuck you. I know I'm telling people to go fuck themselves a lot here, but
I keep saying jank, you know, we're relying on these words. Also, Niamh, do go into the settings
You
and
think-
change the card art so that it's on the highest res.
Okay, yeah, because I was just like, what is with this?
That is a optimized thing to make sure that the bandwidth isn't pulling too much data.
Okay.
But
You think it's
if you're
fucking tactical to be like, oh, turn 1, 4 blue eyes? Fuck off.
that's every Kaiba player.
I know. I played against one and it was just like their first turn like took like 10 minutes. And
Okay.
I was just like, what are you doing?
Also, the last question in this email. Can we just jump to it just for a sec?
Yeah.
If it's really good, we should leave
Okay.
it to the last.
Okay. We'll do that then. Okay. Niamh, the third one then, or the second one. Sorry, we're only on
What
one
game
question.
would save your lives? What did you guys say? I
Tekken Tag or
Tekken
and
Tag.
then Duel
Bryan,
Links.
what was yours?
Supermarket Sweep.
Supermarket Sweep in
Okay.
real life.
But I think that Brian, you just want to play Supermarket Sweep so badly.
I would beat Bryan in Supermarket Sweep, but that's just
I'm determined.
yeah. Okay. What were you obsessing over when you were 12?
Banjo-Kazooie.
Pokemon.
Probably Final Fantasy X?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, also Papa Roach and Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 9 Inch Nails.
And yeah, just Limp Bizkit for me. I wasn't ready for Papa Roach.
If you had to be a contestant on a trashy reality show of your choosing, which would it be?
On a trashy reality TV show.
Of your choosing.
Okay, I want to be on an MTV show from the mid 2000s. I want to be on MTV's Room Raiders.
Oh, Room Raiders. Yeah.
Fucking doing it.
Was the point of Room Raiders that they would date you based on your room, or was it just
Yeah.
seeing the shit in your room?
They'd look at 3 rooms and then they'd pick one room and
Based on the personality of that room, based on like the wardrobe and how clean it was.
Do you remember that one girl who had a bunch of yaoi under her bed?
And like, and sometimes there would be suspicious stains, and they would DNA test the stains, and sometimes it would be verified, and they'd be like, "We got a dirty boy."
Pissed himself.
Yeah, pissed. Yeah,
Got a little.
yeah, pissed himself.
For some reason, it went to Exhibit, who did not host that show, but him just being like, "We got a little piss baby on our hands."
Pimp My Ride says people could put a load of expensive shit in a car that I would sell.
There was one episode of Pimp a Ride where they put an MP4 player into a guy's car, and they were like, "Yo, wait, MP4?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's got picture now."
Wow.
Like, that's a normal
I
thing to
remember
say
that,
now.
yeah.
But like, I learned about MP4 files through Pimp My Ride in 2005.
Did you ever read like the AMAs of the people who were on Pimp My Ride?
Oh, the cars were a piece of shit, weren't
Yeah,
they?
Yeah,
didn't
they
work.
ruined them.
Cause,
But like, yeah, but I was always like, take the PS2 out of the car.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
the cars were cosmetic upgrades. There was no changes to the actual mechanics of the fucking car. John.
I have always had this kind of very strong curiosity. I think this came up on the podcast recently about like speed dating or stuff like that. So I would love to
The
go.
Bachelor.
What next?
I'd love to go on Next or Dismissed.
Oh, they were great.
But with Next, I'd have like 5. my favorite episode of Next was the first guy that the girl went out with. They were like 50 minutes together, and like they had this really good connection. They kept making each other laugh. They had all this stuff in common. And then at one point, it just goes silent, and the guy's like, "Oh, and I think you have like great tits." And she just goes, "Next." And then he comes back and all the other dudes are like, "What happened?"
Was Dismissed the one where you had contestant A and contestant B, and they were both trying to win the affection of contestant C
on the same date?
On
but
the same
then
date.
You had, I think there was a card you could give the other person, so they'd have to take a time out.
and you could do like 12 minutes alone.
I think I would do that. I think I
That
would
show
get a
was
lot
great.
of joy from two people
So
fighting.
there
over
was
me.
one before where it was 2 gay guys fighting for the affection of the third gay guy, but the 2 gay guys meet each other beforehand and they go, "Yeah, you're hot." But then the new guy comes along and he's way hotter, and they're
really?
pissed.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
And they were all tops.
I think
I think if I
it's been
So
too long.
in
It's
this-
been too
in
long,
this-
but I could probably tell now.
In this trashy TV show, you're the person that they're trying to achieve.
I want
Yeah,
to be
Niamh,
the
you
affection.
Think, you think my ego is going to survive being one of the contestants?
Next.
I am raiding 3 rooms and I'm going to fucking drag them.
I really want to be a person who says like something corny, like "I'm Niamh," and like I don't know, I've got 2 shoes. And then, like,
I'm Niamh, I'm 25, and
fuck my mom.
fuck my mom, fuck my dad. But you know what? Grandma, she got heart for me. I love my grandma.
And just get like next straight away. Like I come around the corner and they're just like next.
Hey, I'm John. I'm 19. I'm a junior, and I'm gonna work in a burger joint for the summer. I'm gonna own my own t-shirt business.
My name's Rusty Lewis, and parole ends next week.
That's a yes to Rusty.
My
I
name
like
is
his vibe. He seems dangerous.
Yeah, he frightens me.
My name is Skipper. I invented fireworks. I got a patent pending on it. I'm gonna be all right. Come on, need one more.
No, I'm not doing it. I can't follow Skipper. Okay, next question. What are your favorite and least favorite things about Ireland?
Okay. My favorite thing about Ireland is how small it is physically and socially. In that it's super easy to just bump into someone. I love when you go to a gig and you bump into people from school and you're like, "Oh yeah, we like the same band like 20 years ago, so here we are."
Yeah, like I was in like Cork and I was doing like an artist residency and like, you know, the little mean Irish guy from Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, King Joffrey.
Yeah, I just shared a room with him.
Lovely
like,
kid.
Yeah,
He's lovely
lovely
in real
guy. Ireland's small.
I also love that about celebrity culture in Ireland, that like, especially even with like political figures, there's no like need for bodyguards or protecting or Secret Service or anything like that, because like Irish people aren't going to fucking like maul you.
No.
Yeah, they'll leave you alone because
And I do like that about Ireland as well, is that like it's a fairly safe country, like in terms of, you know, deaths, like it is, there is violence and there is burglaries, but like if someone is murdered in Ireland, it's national news.
Yeah.
It's not like in other countries where it's like local news. Like if someone's murdered, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is awful, but also it does have that weight of life in our little nation. But I guess the thing I don't like about this country is the extortionate prices, especially in terms of living.
Holy shit.
Our rent is insane.
It's just so bananas.
Buying a house is,
and like more so, like if people in the
insane.
US, it costs more to live here than where you live, unless you live in a penthouse in LA.
Yeah. The cost of living in Ireland is atrocious.
It's just insane.
And it's based on foreign companies that have tax breaks, because Ireland is a tax haven to the overseas.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to our own nation, we have to pay those taxes.
What about you, Niamh? What's your favorite and least favorite?
Well, as a country girl, my favorite thing about Ireland is like the countryside. It's like it's beautiful.
It's a
So
beautiful
beautiful.
geography.
Yeah, it's like it's a gorgeous place to be in. Like I climbed Croagh Patrick last weekend, and it's like just a lovely mountain to climb, and there's like beautiful sights to be seen, and like you're in those spaces with all those trees and like our flora and fauna, and it's like you're like, wow, what a beautiful country and what a beautiful place to be in. Like Bryan, my least favorite thing is like our housing crisis. Our government has like fucked us.
It's so cruel,
completely.
especially our generation.
Yeah, like renting is extortionate in everywhere, especially Dublin City, and so like, and
It's half your monthly salary, so then your savings are. It's very hard to save up to buy a house.
it's very like paycheck to paycheck living when you're living in the city.
Totally.
And like wages, there's a lot of wage stagnation in the city as well, and it has not risen to match the extortionate price of renting.
No.
So yeah, that.
I think like Ireland's a weird one for me. It's like I didn't care about being Irish for a really long time, and I think it's only in like the last 3 or 4 years that I started to be like, oh no wait, I do like this country and there is things I like about it. I think like I like our history in that like we are survivors. We had the shit kicked out of us for a really, really long time and we survived. I think it's pretty cool that we never enslaved anyone. That's good.
We are the good Europeans.
We're like the literally only good one. You know, hey, the Scots, they're all right.
Scots are alright.
Yep.
We're kind of semi-indigenous in that way. It's this weird kind of loophole where we are ourselves because of that struggle.
Yeah.
We're a colonized country.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
a colonized country, and you know we fought back for a really long time and got our fucking heads rocked, but we still did it. I think like, you know, I like the kind of history of Ireland like that. I think
Yeah, I'm very proud of our
Ireland is
identity.
kind of fighters, and like, you know, even right up to modern day, like I like that fighting has been a part of culture, like even boxing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
shout
you know?
out to Kelly Harrington who took
What
the gold at the
fucking-
Olympics.
Like the sweetest
Badass.
person you could ever imagine, and a fucking killer with those
Mm-hmm.
fists. Like, just I love her.
And the rowing team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Lads down in Skibbereen, fucking keeping it real.
And I think my least favorite thing, I would say that the prices of property is a huge one. I think my least favorite thing though is like with that culture of getting the shit kicked out of us, I do think there is a very internalized sense of shame that
Yes.
goes beyond even just Catholic shame that is so ingrained in Irish people. And I think it comes out in so many different ways. Like it's like a negative stereotype with Irish people, and like I nearly hate saying it, but like Irish people hate to see other Irish people succeed.
We have
And
an internal violence.
that fucking sucks, and that's why like I really try and be happy for my fellow Irishmen, because like I have it as well. You know, everyone has it, and it's like that makes me really sad, because I feel like it really does go back to like some real ancient geographical shit of us just being like othered and told that like, you know, we are inferior
Yeah.
and having everything we had taken away from us. And I think sometimes like when we talk about minority shit, it nearly makes more sense to us, because like even generations later you feel that being othered.
It's weird seeing like stuff from history 100 years ago and you see things like no shirts, no shoes, no Irish and things like that.
No
and you're
blacks,
like,
no dogs, no Irish.
yeah, and you're just
Shirts, no shoes, no hair.
yeah, and it's just this kind of like the butt of the joke, but it's like and it's kind of a thing we have to own, but like at one point we were the lowest of the low in terms of the Caucasians.
And just like, well, like beyond that, there's just like our own government doesn't do, like, we are a nation of artists and storytellers, and we're
So
so
much culture.
creative and so talented, but our government doesn't, and you know, nurture these things. And there's a big thing that you only make it in Ireland when you leave Ireland and make it somewhere else, and then Ireland will accept you as having made it because you've proven yourself in an American, like in the movies or like in the music scene and kind of stuff. But there is no support systems to support Irish creativity.
And what funds there are go so exclusively to fitting into this very niche established idea of to what being Irish is.
And it's that and like that pissed off twee aesthetic.
Yeah, that's marketed
shit.
purely to like
Garbage.
But then that
tourists.
cycles into the self-hating, loathing stuff.
Yeah.
And so like our biggest export is tourism. Unfortunately, that isn't really a thing now.
Yeah.
And so it is this point where it's like, okay, well, what do you want us to be as our big economy then?
And like I really love Ireland. Like I really do. I want Ireland to get better.
And I think it will. Like, I mean, we went to like college with so many creative Irish people, and there's been like 3, 4, 5, 10 different graduates after us, like, who are so creative and stuff. It's like these opportunities need to be made, but I feel like there's this burning energy of young people who are ready for a big like creative change in Ireland, and I think it's always happening. And the more you look towards creative stuff, you see it there, and you see it bubbling under the surface.
Totally.
And it will happen, because there's loads of like creative and talented people in this country. It's just like the opportunities are not provided to us to achieve these things. But yeah, it's like, I'm proud of all our of Ireland and being Irish, and
like,
Irish
I'm
people.
super proud that this is like an Irish video game podcast, and that it does have like such an international audience.
Yeah, it's the best
cool.
part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever hear about Irish wolves and that whole story?
In what sense? What
That
do
they're
you mean?
trying to reintroduce wolves to the Irish.
They are, but it's like like Ireland wolves were just part of its landscape, and
Yeah,
like
they
they
were.
weren't considered a pest. Like native Irish people would sometimes have like wolves as pets and stuff, and like they existed for thousands of years, to the point that they were like on the precipice of having their own like genealogy and becoming like their own species. And then basically Cromwell came in and was like, wolves could never be part of a civilized country, and just killed them all. Like, just a complete eradication of this amazing part of like a natural Irish landscape. And that, like, to this day breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
We've been doing a lot of reintroduction of species as well, so like hopefully we'll keep that going.
I really like when there's lizards. I like lizards during the
I saw
summer.
one in Crowpatrick, and I was just like, we have one type of lizard in Ireland. It's the common lizard, and I saw one when I was climbing down Crowpatrick, and it was very cute.
Like,
Very
those guys
small.
are survivors,
Yeah.
because like, how the fuck do they live through winter?
fair play to them.
Yeah.
They've earned their spot here.
Yep.
Sorry, John. I did interrupt you about Ireland.
Yeah.
I think I was done, so
Okay.
you're fine.
Well, the lizards are back.
What's your favourite Irish animal?
My favorite Irish animal is the Gráinneog, the hedgehog, which is the sea urchin of the land.
I love, they're not around anymore, but those monstrous Irish elks.
Oh, they're so cool.
The great Irish elk, and
Those are fucking bloodborne
Yeah.
bosses.
Yeah, they're 12 feet tall. The antlers are like 8 feet wide.
Yeah, they're
you-
there's
just
one in the Natural
incredible.
History Museum.
Yeah, if you ever visit Ireland, go to the Natural History Museum. Like, that skeleton will like blow your mind.
Yeah, the great Irish elk. Holy shit. Niamh?
I love a moorhen. They have big feet.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
I'll take this next one, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You wake up tomorrow morning as a supervillain and get to choose a protagonist or hero group, whatever, of heroes to fuck with for shits and giggles. Who are you choosing? So for me, I'm going to pick a group of teenagers that solve mysteries. Fuck them.
So like Scooby Gang.
Let's say like more like a Nancy Drew or like a Hardy Boys kind of. So like they're not in a vehicle, but they're in a treehouse or some shit. But one does have like a magnifying glass. But I'm gonna smash that shit into that kid's eye. I'm gonna be a mean bully.
God.
Yeah, you know, my mind immediately went to like, oh, who would I like to kick the shit out of?
Teenagers.
You know, I would fuck up Class 1A of Hero Academia. I would ruin those children. Like, what am I gonna do? Fight Goku? No fucking way. Like, Hiei? No, thank you.
Okay, so mine is a fictional group of tween mystery solvers, and they're called the Bramblebush Kids.
Bramblebush Kids is cute.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're fucking dead.
No, not the Bramble Kids.
No,
They
they're
knew what they were getting.
they're trapped in a treehouse, and I lit that shit up on fire. Like, there's no escape. I cut the fucking rope from that ladder.
I don't know, like the Avengers. is
Season
what I
8
would
of
pick.
Bramblebush Kids is them being like, we solved the mystery. I really miss Steven.
At the end, I'm like, make a fat belly. Sorry, you want to like take on Phase 1 Avengers
Yeah,
or something?
Phase 1 Avengers, and I'm a really gay villain who's like, oh.
That's pretty good.
And like you're openly making out with women,
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck you, box office.
Oh, what's this? Yes, it's my company of women. Yeah.
Sorry,
I love-
sorry, my tongue was busy.
I love Niamh, a gay woman's impression of a gay woman.
Whoa, I'm a gay.
just sounds like a man in drag. Like, what is that name?
And that's how lesbians speak to each other. We're at the cliff and we go, hello!
Would you like a crumpet?
Fried green tomatoes, great movie, yes.
Do you like Andy McDowell as much as I do?
Of course.
John, please do a lesbian.
Would
Would you like some thuggery down in the docks? Would you like some powder?
A tit.
Sure could go for some vagina right now.
That's what we say.
I know, yeah, you always say that.
I'm wearing pants.
Ooh, subversive.
You caught me with my fanny on.
Ooh, Avengers, you've caught me with my trousers on.
Especially you, Black Widow.
Come to our side.
Have you gone scarlet? Scarlet. Oh, got A-grade material right there.
Yeah, like, my name would be Carl. We would go for evil lunch. Yeah. And finally, Bryan, why is Kaiba such a spoiled little C-word?
I think we already explained why he is, because it was fucking Dragon Deck. Fuck him.
There you go.
He's not fun to play as or with.
Oh, you fucking polymorphed the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. No one's ever done that before. Fucking stupid piece of shit.
Thanks for making the best podcast on the planet. You're all so wholesome. Thank you, Chris, for the quickfire questions.
They were great. Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Chris.
And that's it. 3 emails. That's all you're getting.
That's all you're getting.
But do
you want
please
more?
send-
Come back next week.
Yeah. Send us more emails. We will read them. I like emails. I know. Okay, I know I always sound sarcastic when I am Bryan. I like like there's no one.
Bryan, okay, no, hang on. Bryan, just okay. I like emails. Niamh, do you like emails?
I love emails.
Bryan.
I love emails. like no matter how I say it, it's gonna sound like I'm just bitter about it. Like I could say no. Okay, I'm gonna try as genuine as possible.
Yeah, go on.
I love getting emails.
Your natural tone is just sarcastic.
It's something about the way you lean it. Okay, say like. Don't say love.
Yeah.
I like getting emails.
Better.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better.
I like getting emails.
No,
See, it doesn't work. I fucking hate them.
Ask let's fight a boss at gmail.com. Patreon shoutouts.
Okay, we gotta talk about the Patreon because I got something to say about the Patreon.
Okay.
If you're part of the Patreon, you already know this. But did you know? I put out a Patreon exclusive video.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me there's some sweet Bryan goodness out there and I didn't know about it?
There's a video on YouTube that's almost 40 minutes long and you can only watch it if you're a patron.
Is it saucy?
Are
Are your hands in it?
My hands are in it. There's a lot of hand action. This will eventually be made public. I don't know when.
We don't know when, and it's not going to be soon.
No, it won't be soon. So yeah, I'm holding you ransom. I'm holding you hostage. I'm fucking dangling that carrot on a stick.
So, do you want to say what the video is, or is the mystery part of it?
Oh, the mystery's up. Like, there's no way to like disappoint you with this video.
Oh well, look, I've seen reviews of the video. I've seen the comment. Top marks all around. People are delighted with this video.
It seems like the Bryan fans are
And
satisfied.
I had a, as someone who is, outwardly not a Bryan fan, just not my thing. Great video, 10 out of 10. Enjoyed it the entire way through.
Also, everybody, I know the link didn't work. I don't know what to deal with. Patreon is a weird website.
Isn't it really fun when you make a mistake and everyone, you just get drilled with the same correction again and again and again?
Look, it's fixed now.
It's a decent into madness.
It's really that thing where you're like done and you just want to walk away from it, but you just gotta like do one last thing.
Yep.
And yeah, we're trying to watch Rebuild of Evangelion, and I'm like, no, sorry, I gotta just do this fucking hunch over my computer
He's
thing.
messaging me.
Yeah, Niamh's flagged an issue, and I'm reading the comments, and everyone is agreeing with this issue. But the issue is resolved. The video is watchable, but only if you're a patron.
Yeah, and look, I just want to say as well, we got some stuff planned for later this year. And if somehow this isn't what's going to push you over the edge, trust me, you are going to want to be there when this shit drops, okay? We have a plan that is going to fucking nuke the entire landscape of Let's Fight a Boss, and it's going to be for patrons. And I'm instructing you now, current patrons, when you see these Johnny-come-latelys come by, make them feel bad. Do it. Now's your chance.
We want some negatives. No, we do not
No,
want
we
negatives.
don't. We don't. It's such a friendly Patreon, such a friendly Discord.
It's a positive community. There's nobody acting like a loot in there.
Okay,
They're doing
be
great.
really friendly to them, but know in your heart that they were never part of the core original crew.
Be like way too nice to them.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh.
And you'll know when it's coming. It's not the Shenmue 2 Let's Play. We'll get back to that soon. We would not charge people for that.
No.
But patreon.com/LFAB. You can also have your name read out, your message read out, like now. Niamh. Oh, shit. Bryan.
Okay, this one is from Lockbreaker, the Eggening. And this is an old favourite of mine. They've wrote, is this where you go to put your shout-outs for the EPs? It is.
Thanks, Lockbreaker.
Well done.
Oh.
This is from Nameless Vulcan, and it's Bryan, Airsoft Fatty, John is Mike, and Niamh is Robert.
Which one was Mike and which one was Robert?
Mike was the chill one. Robert was the one with the knife.
Yeah, I think.
But like,
I could see both me and Niamh in both those roles.
but the thing is, why am I Airsoft Fatty? Because I'm not the YouTuber. You're the YouTuber.
That makes sense.
You're Airsoft. I want to be Mike. He plays with. I used to play with fire.
I do think I might have a bit more in common with Airsoft Fatty than Bryan does. I think we have a similar emotional disposition.
Niamh, you are definitely Robert.
Yeah, definitely. I'm scary.
I really got to watch that video again. It's been like 2 years.
My girlfriend rewatches that so often. It's like
It's a
her
really good
most
video.
watched like YouTube
Wow.
video.
Oh, it's just so. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
We got this one from Namelessy. Today I've flown from the Middle East to the UK, lost my wallet in Heathrow, and now I have to go to the hospital, but at least I had the strongest podcast to keep me going for the last 17 hours. My train just broke down as well, but staying strong. Namelessly, I hope you made it. I hope you're still here.
Yeah.
They are if they've joined the Nameless.
That is true, yeah.
Oh dear.
Loot drop.
We've scoured the internet for some real fucked up shit.
Oh, I got the fucking... You want to see the darkest humanity has to offer?
Niamh.
So the darkest thing that humanity has to offer is Mark Rober's backyard squirrel maze.
This video is great. I watched this one.
Yeah, I've I really like Mark Rober. He's basically a YouTube engineer with like millions of followers, but he does really great videos. This one is one I specifically love, where he set up a squirrel obstacle course, but like it really challenges squirrels and also teaches you a lot about how squirrels work and how they move.
The way their nose anchors always to the ground so they will land safely. Amazing.
And fascinating, cute creatures. He has a maze 2.0, which is like ups the ante and is just as impressive. He also has another video I really like where he like outlines scams at fairgrounds and just shows you the kind of like science behind them and the engineering behind them.
I really like the ones about the box thieves and how he's like rigged the box to like display or like to blow out confetti and also have fart spray.
It's like a really good channel. It's one of those channels that has like, I don't know, like 7 million followers. So there's a good chance you may have seen it, but if you haven't...
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's one of these things when you haven't seen it and you watch this video and it's got like 79 million like views and you're like, who?
Do you know how
He's
many...
he's really like Tom Scott, and I only started watching Tom Scott videos this
Do you know
year.
how many YouTubers have over 1 million followers?
No.
20,000.
Sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like there are just other hemispheres, other like shared universes we have not explored. YouTube's mad.
Boy, is it.
John.
Okay, I got this one from, I guess it's a kind of friend of the podcast, someone we know, Mecha Gamezilla. He recently did a video on Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it's part of his Infinite Review series. And I think out of all anime, Evangelion is the most difficult to talk about on the internet because it is the most dissected, like maybe aside from Dragon Ball Z, but a lot of that is power scaling. And what do you say about Evangelion at this point? Like, what can you possibly fucking say?
Like every interpretation is out there.
Every interpretation is out there, and there's like, you know, the people like us who grew up watching it at like, you know, at some godforsaken hour on some channel, and then like, you know, there's the people who came to it as like the most famous anime in the world. And those are such different viewpoints. And this is just a 12-minute video that I feel like really beautifully explores that perspective. And it's really funny and it's got heart. And I feel like sometimes Mecha Games that are like, there's so many YouTubers I know who he is like their favorite YouTuber. But at the same time, he never gets like, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views. And it's a shame. It's like your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber kind of person.
It's really fun when you watch a YouTube video and then you scroll down to the comments and Owen's left a comment, but it's the pinned comment with a heart on it.
Yeah.
Because, like, they fucking get it.
Yeah, and, like, he just does great stuff, and this is probably my favorite video of his. So, fair play.
Then mine is Hats Off Entertainment, and it's a video on the career of Jim Varney, who played Ernest in all of those Ernest movies.
I scrubbed through this. Bizarre. Yeah,
so I didn't know that Ernest was he used to do advertisements, and he did like over 400 ads which he would talk to you in the first person to the off-camera Vern, who was his neighbor, and he would just be like shilling milk or shilling pancakes or whatever, and then that became he just became a pop culture icon that children loved, and then made children's movies for the late 80s all the way up until the late 90s, and ended up being Slinky the dog in Toy Story. I really like this channel. He does videos on the comedy genre, which doesn't exist anymore for some reason. They don't make comedy films anymore. Because,
God, that's so weird. They don't.
No, because comedy has been absorbed into the superhero genre with all their fucking quips. But like, there's no more or there isn't really any more comedy vehicles like there was.
There are no Naked Guns.
No.
We just need Adam Sandler to come back.
Oh my god. Anyway, I really like this guy's channel. He does lots of fun videos on like John Candy and the good Chevy Chase films. Jesus, that guy's a fucking weirdo. His channel is very chill to put on the background. Recommend this video.
Cool. And that's gonna do it for episode. What are we? 147.
146.
146.
Okay. How long do you think we've been recording?
Oh, it's probably been 3 hours.
We are 2 hours 55 minutes into this.
Ooh, nearly there.
Nearly there.
Do you want to drag it another 5 minutes?
Hell no, I want to go home and have a bath.
You're going to have a midnight bath?
I'm absolutely going to have a midnight bath.
Oh, man.
And then I'm going to get into bed and I'm going to be like, I'm sorry, Michelle. And she's going to be like, you promised me you wouldn't have midnight baths anymore because you know it wakes me up. And I'm going to be like, listen, I got real sticky during that podcast and I had to do something about it. She's going to be like, can we talk about this in the morning? And I'm going to be like, listen, you started this fight. You're going to fucking... Look, it doesn't matter what can we end the podcast soon?
We talked about Goemon and our bodies made liquids.
Mine didn't.
Yeah. me neither.